the heart of the Philippines, where the sun always shines, there's a tale of resilience in the midst of hard times. George and Heidi with courage in their stride, facing down the critics with nothing to hide. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright, in the face of adversity they take flight. With every negative comment they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. On the streets of Manila they share their story bold. Through the lens of the camera their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright, in the face of adversity they take flight. With every negative comment they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. Through the ups and Manila they share their story bold. Through the lens of their camera their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright, in the face of adversity they take flight. With every negative comment they rise above, spreading love and
Letter. Good morning, Magadan, Po. Here, come on in, come a little closer. Come a little closer. I know. Good morning. Brian is first in the house.
Hey, Brian
We're
Thompson,
going
how
to
you doing?
allow the room to build. We will open up the panel later. I will send a link to regular guy. He's more than welcome. Okay. So it looks like this week and last week, the hot topic is regular guy. Okay. We've received so many emails, comments, messages, and I want to say what they've been saying lately. Okay. So they're talking about multiple channels that are bringing to light what's actually going on. We're covering it on the side too. Why not? We've had regular guy on our channel. There's other videos being released on him. We have played his video recently. So there's been a call for him to be turned into a bunch of departments, a bunch of people on other channels. We've seen the comments. We've had comments from people about in regards to they've turned him in, things are being done, it's in the process and everything. We've been reading through some articles in regards to being on a blacklist, being deported. I have some information on what's going on. We will discuss that. Reasons why we think that some expats are sitting here long term in the detention center of immigration. I went through some of the laws, not that I'm an attorney or anything, but I've went through some of the laws that talk about reasons for deportation. We've heard everything. We've heard everything from they're stopping every felon that walks into the country or anybody that's been in trouble will be in trouble. It's all of a sudden just turned into a Shark Tank. It's like really crazy, and I haven't heard any other country that does it but this country, and I'm still trying to figure out why. But the laws kind of vary, and in the end, it'll be up to the Philippine government to make that decision. It's not a guarantee in the bag, so I don't believe not one person will take down any individual here that they're actually reporting. They do have a due process that they actually go through, and it's in their articles. It said, all in all, the Philippines doesn't need any reason. It could be because you made fun of Jollibees or something and you looked at some cashier weird and had some attitude, they can deport you for that. So they said it's up to them in the end what individual reason to deport you. But I don't think it's going to be on every expat that arrives or Filipino that arrives. It'll get somebody deported when they make reports. So these are a bunch of comments coming in. This is kind of my thoughts. Me and George have been discussing this morning, and I know a lot of people are interested. So I was going to put a poll out once again about would you or have you actually gone down and reported regular guy in regards to what you've been seeing? And we just left that out. So this is a last minute live today. We're supposed to be live tomorrow, but we decided being we're getting so many messages and comments against multiple channels, and it's been kind of,
Yeah, for instance, for example, have big big name superstars been banned from the Philippines, being blacklisted to travel to the Philippines? Yes,
Mhm.
because they made snide remarks, they made off color jokes, that kind of deal. However, for example, right now, Charles Barkley, you know, big giant, basketball superstar, made a, I guess it's a bad Filipino joke. I mean, and that's been on the news. However, I couldn't find anything that he's been blacklisted. So what I'm saying is, be aware that everything's a case to case basis.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that one individual does it. It doesn't mean that one person can get away with it, the other can.
Yeah, it's possibility that the next person might. And also, I was telling George this morning, we were reading, a lot of people are being told they can go do it anonymously, according to the Philippine rules of reporting people and all that. It doesn't appear that you can be anonymous. You're supposed to give an
Yeah.
address, ID, everything when you do these reports, and then they will still go over. So I'd be curious which offices are actually doing this and not. If they say, hey, I'll just take the information, they're probably just going to toss it out because according to them, they're supposed to get all that information along
File
with these reports.
33.
File 33. So, um, so this will be interesting. I will say, for what I'm hearing that people are reporting him for, and the video that we showed, can he go down for that? It is in the list of deportable things. But then we've had a bunch of emails from different people, and one of them was a attorney that said that it's going to be up to immigration in the end what they will do. Then it will tie back to where the incident happened, Walking Street, could tie back to the mayor. Does the mayor want all this ruffle of because it'll go in the news. If they deport him, there's a good chance that this will end up in the news because he's a YouTuber, and he's not a small YouTuber. He's bigger than World Zoom, and he ended up in the news, although most of that was because of the crime, but they did report he was a YouTuber, and I'm sure they would be interested. So, do you think that would affect the mayor and the fact that it happened in Walking Street and it would put this area in the spotlight because it happened over here? They'd make more of a to do. You don't think so?
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Not at all.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
it is part of the industry in this
it,
area, and the fact that a YouTuber was showing it on camera, you don't think that'll affect the actual recording where people have been down there doing it. Then there was a YouTuber allegedly, possibly, and propositioning a girl on his channel. And you don't think the mayor would want to kill that story as quick as possible? You don't think there's any political ties in it whatsoever? Like the
well, actually,
comments we've been.
that's the thing. I don't think there's a political tie to it.
Okay. So we're
And
just kind of
then
addressing
and then you have
comments.
to see that again, depending. See, the problem we face, or it's not a problem really, is the person who watches the exact same video has a different interpretation of the video.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, the mayor may look at the video. Oh, look at this! He's promoting Walking Street, or the mayor can look at it. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad for Walking Street.
Right, but do you think NBI and immigration will have any contact with the local office over here whatsoever before they go deporting and that all ends up in the news? You don't think there'll be any? So you think they'll take all the statements and they'll just do it with without a
Oh,
second?
no. Will they ask the mayor? Probably not. But will they do their due diligence? Yes. They'll probably look at all evidence presented, and then they make a determination from there.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is that being that was in this area and dealing with Walking Street, you don't think that there are people on the inside that won't say, "Hey, let me talk to Lizotten," and none of that? Okay. I know there's a lot of inside people, but it's just kind of a
No, there's a
okay.
lot of inside people, but it's
So they'll just treat it like an everyday situation. Doesn't matter what part of the Philippines. You really think that's,
well, like I
in your
said,
opinion,
it
as a
depends on
Filipino?
who watches the video or videos that are against the regular guy. They can
No, I'm talking about the government and processing. Will immigration put any of that to mind whatsoever? Or are they just going to individually, it doesn't matter that it happened there. They're not going to involve anybody over there
no,
and they'll just go straight for them. Okay.
no,
All right. So that'll answer a lot of you that think that that'll get shut down because of the
no. That
finances over there and that'll put a bad light on Walking Street all of a sudden. That's all. So that shuts that down a little bit. But
well, okay. Now the deal is okay without overstepping my legal boundaries as a Filipino citizen and as a resident here. A lot of these things that happen in Walking Street, the raids and everything, or non-raids, as it were.
well, he walks down there with them.
Well, what I'm saying is these are all planned and everything else. What I'm saying is be aware that they do their due diligence and they analyze everything. So things just don't happen.
Right, because the mayor has appeared in those raids. He's been
Well,
down there in the
the
photos.
fact that
and-
he's in there, that tells you again, these are not, what do you call that? Spur of the moment.
right, which means he's still involved. That's what I mean. If
No,
there's
I know.
that much thought put into it, then it is possible he may be involved in this in the end.
Well, and no offense to Scotty, okay, and again, nothing against him and nothing against us.
Yeah, this is open to
Here's the
both
thing.
sides for this conversation.
We nor Scotty are that important. You know what I'm saying? They'll be look if let's say the PNP walks up to the mayor and says, "Check out this guy," he'll be like, "Why are you bothering me with this?"
Come here, sweetie.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
I mean, like I said, no offense to Scotty. If somebody presented his case to the mayor, mayor's like, "Why are you bothering me with this?" That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
so-
He's not that important. We are not that important. You know what I'm
Nope.
saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so this is interesting for us because it's in the YouTube world. It's another expat, and understand that it is also the actual topic of the hour. And I think you guys are looking for your Scotty fix because it looks like it's been a few days since anybody's really covered this. And there have been more and more opinions on Andy Omar, on Mike's Philippine journey. And them are the two channels that we can think of because they're in the realm of our vlogging where people watching. We know there's people that love and hate both those channels in here. And our channel is, it may not appear we're super neutral on this, but technically we are. We're just covering what's actually out there. Just because he's on our channel doesn't mean that we're for what he does. Just because he's on our channel doesn't mean we hate him or because we're covering him. The same with, it was brought up recently about Mark Thornton. We've had a lot of comments saying that we are Team Dexter and that because we have all sympathy for Justin Carmack and all of them guys, including putting Dexter up, that means we feel sorry for Dexter and we're Team Dexter. Honestly, we're not, because if that was Mark Thornton, there was a good chance that would have just been his photo up there and we'd have been discussing Dexter beating the crap out of him. But we're going by what's most evident, just like today we're covering possibilities on blacklisting, deportation. And this would include the Armstrong family, Richard, okay, because more and more has been discussed about him. So is it a possibility that regular guy could be? Maybe. Does he care? Probably not. He's probably just doing him. And then the Armstrong, Mr. Armstrong, it's because he had not even been in the house for 8 months. So according to immigration law, the base law, okay, again, I'm just what I'm reading is that if you violate your visa, they do have the right to deport. Does the wife have the right to report what happened? Yes. If she goes forward and says, hey, he was on a 13A, he was given a work visa, which is how he was building the houses. And he was also, we don't know whether he registered that YouTube and he's got it registered, paying taxes, doing all the legal stuff, because you're also supposed to have a permit for that too. So could he be deported because he wasn't really with his wife for 8 months but continued to work? If that is all true, then yes, there's a possibility he could get in trouble and then blacklisted for a while afterwards, because they do tend to blacklist you for a set amount of time. Same with regular guy. In the list, like I said, prostitution is one of those in their moral laws where you can't do X amount and that are deportable offenses. So I'm going to go down the list here. There is a 3-month from date of implementation, or actually when they've actually blacklisted you. At 3 months, an ideal is improperly documented, stowaways, incompetency, public charge things like being drunk on walking street or out doing something. So that gives you an idea. They can ban you for 3 months out of the Philippines. The next one, and this is on a law office website here. Next comes 6 months. Okay. 6 months of being banned is based on being deported or a voluntary deport order. So let's say they deport him for that offense. That looks like that could be where he falls in voluntary, like, because once they say you're going to be deported because of this offense, you can voluntarily leave. A lot of people think that people actually that they have to sit there until they're actually leaving. No, if they want to pay for their own ticket, do their thing, and get out, they can. Now, if they're being held for another charge or something's going on in the Philippines or otherwise, or wanted by the FBI or other things, then that could be why they're still sitting there, like pending all that stuff. So, voluntary deportation, if you overstay for less than a year, usually those that leave are blacklisted for 6 months. Okay. Um, Also, like if you're like put into an insane asylum or they find you totally to be insane and they go through all that, that's another reason. Afflicted by you blinked. So, okay, so with the internet's acting up already and it's Monday. So yes, I said diseases can get you banned for 6 months out of the Philippines. It says it here.
I guess if you have leprosy or something.
I think they're thinking of something else like hives or something.
I mean, I guess if you have Ebola or something, I don't know.
Evil.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ebola, la 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 la, Ebola, la 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 la.
There it is. Next in line, 12 months, implementation and deportation of foreign nationals deported for the following reason will get you a 12-month ban. Prostitutes or procured of a person who come into an immoral purpose.
Wow, I guess
Snap.
Angel City would be empty of expats then.
They'd be banned for about a year. Another reason this has come up is because they caught a bunch more guys at the Manila airport, is what I call it. NIA.
Yeah, Ninoy Aquino International Airport, NAIA.
They don't pronounce it anything else.
NAIA.
NIA. So there is the possibility. So if the charges are brought and there is video proof of it, then that would put a 12-month ban on Scotty Boy if they go by the law. And I am getting this from, how do you pronounce that? Is it Nato? It's a
Nanato.
Nanato Law Office in Cebu. They do investments and law. So they cover actually. So you might want to lawyer up people. Polygamy. I guess if the person is practicing polygamy and it's whatever. Paupers, vagrants, and beggars will literally, those that are on the actual streets actually doing that.
Huh.
unskilled manual laborers. Huh.
Huh.
Armstrong. You know how many reports we've had in our comment section emails that have said that he's really not that skilled? I mean, that's not my personal opinion. That is really coming
Again,
in.
I don't do construction, so I'm really not into that, nor will I analyze his work.
Okay, so they're saying unskilled manual laborers. Indigent, okay, so just outright having no money. And that's what made us wonder is like on Rafi Tufo recently, they had that Tatai empanada guy or whatever. He flat out said that he was basically, doesn't have any money, and he also didn't have work permits. He didn't have none of the above when he's been selling it. Then the girl got involved with him, and he's going to help him get a shop and get his legal stuff in order. Then there was a guy before that was on
Yeah,
his channel that actually had not paid immigration in 7-8 years, which is a blacklisted
well, that's a
offense.
good example,
What is with
actually.
your tiger there?
Hey,
Yeah, he's going to hit that wire.
now for those of you who missed it again, Tata Empanada, that's what they call him, is an expat. He came here, met his Filipino wife, married her and everything, and then stayed here. And then he missed his flight, and then he got stuck. And after he got stuck, he couldn't. He was still working. He wasn't retired. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So he got stranded here, and then his Filipino left him, and then a stranger, a Filipino, helped him out. No attachments. He just.
Right, but it's still
But here's the
a
thing.
deportable offense.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And so was the other guy.
He didn't make the empanadas. They made it for him, and then he sold them. But Rafi Tulfo saved him, literally. Like
Oh no, he got
he
him his
swooped
work
down from the
permits.
heavens with his wings and said, "Here's 300,000 pesos, and we'll take care of you."
Well, same with the other guy. So, okay, so those who are drunk and disorderly at the port of entry will also be banned for a year. Let's see, just giving you some ideals: violation of conditions and limitations of a stay, overstaying for more than a year, a canceled visa on you if you're undocumented or improperly documented. Now, here comes the 5-year ban of foreign nationals would be engaging in profiteering and hoarding, any black marketing stuff, defrauding creditors. Let me warn you, if you go and take on a loan of any sort, like we heard this expat about 3-4 months ago, where he allegedly said his woman did an online loan based in his name. That's not good because it's still your name. And when that's not repaid back because you're on limited money, you can still go down for that. So no defrauding creditors. And that's what they would consider anybody taking on. There's some that attempt to get bank loans on things. I heard someone the other day saying they were going to do it over a house with their wife. And then undesirability. Okay. And that's kind of a broad what that would be about. And it's up to immigration, not up to an expat. So all of this that we keep hearing, and I'm calling it out, the expats that say they're going to get another expat banned based on something, they're going to need a lot of information. And then it's not going to be because of that. We always mention the guy back in Miami that says he got the other expat here banned, and we just laugh at that every time. But it is still up to the Philippine government to make that decision. Okay. But that's an ideal. You will go through a justice process here, and in the justice process, you get to talk to the commissioner. There's court hearings and all of that before that even goes down. So you're not like just cuffed and then never see anybody and then out the door you go. I see Loving in the Philippines has actually talked about 13A. And let's see, Donna can have him listed to the BI as an undesirable
She
alien
can.
for different reasons because she knows and he's already stated that they were not even in the same house and he continued to do work. He showed it on his videos forever. So either way, he's either supposed to, well, actually, he's supposed to have both. He's supposed to have a work permit and a proper visa that is valid to actually do the construction. Okay. It says he hired Filipinos. I don't think that makes any difference. So, like who he hired or what he actually did. But the other hand would be um, that the YouTube channel. That is a whole different requirement. That visa will not cover him on that. You still have to have a licensing based on um, what do they call that type of business again? Right off the top of my head, I don't remember.
I'm
So,
talking
but
about the digital nomad.
no, babe, the YouTubing. The YouTubing is a independent contractor, which requires now, as of a couple years ago, it's a different type of setup and licensing, business license for
Yeah,
that.
no,
So the
it's a
construction
business.
company would not cover him for the YouTube channel that he continued. So, and
It's
it
an
can't,
online business.
right. So, and after they were broke up, he continued to post videos. That's not her that did it. So,
Right.
But yeah. So George probably go through the questions and
Yeah. Now, actually, hold on.
yeah, I see a bunch of them, but I would start.
Now, back to the Armstrongs real quick. Just real quick. Donna had, according to her, she's going to take over the projects, and she actually hired a civil engineer to oversee the work, meaning
Mhm.
the civil engineer is the one who's going to make sure everything's done properly. You know? Now, that being said, the odd thing is, and I say odd, well, not really, not to me. Um, she said she's not going to revoke her ex-husband's 13A. What I'm saying is, if let's say he says, "Oh, I'll finish the work, and after I'm done, then I'll leave you guys alone." But no, he's not involved in the projects anymore. Donna's taking over the work. Already hired a civil engineer.
As of
To,
now,
right.
but the 8 months of recording on
No, no,
his
no, 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 no.
own and showing
That's
he
prior.
was
Yeah, but I'm talking about now. But the thing is, she still is not gonna say, "Hey, I want this guy deported." She did not say any of that. She says, I will not revoke his 13A as of now. I mean, she may change her mind in split second from now. I don't
right.
know. I'm just saying.
We're just saying it's a possibility. It's again, it's a discussion.
Right.
So that's somebody. I want to also say before we open up the panel, um, you guys have to have, we're asking that people have their audio in place because if we can't hear you, like there's been a few times, and we do have to mention a few times that the audio has been totally off. We have to have decent audio, no voice changers. And right now, we're still on the fence on people that don't show their face. If they're already been vetted and then they turn it off because they're eating or doing something in the background, that's different. But when you come in under a different name and then pop up, cam up, and you're somebody that everything's off on, then we will just remove you from the live stream. So I'm just being flat out on that. People really need to be in that. So
Okay. Actually, Hector Gubat says a board of commissioners decides Bureau of Immigration cases, not a judge, and this board is quasi judicial in nature. So expect different rules for process, evidence submissions, and interpretation of immigration
right,
laws.
it's going to be them, not because an individual dropped in. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they'll take everything into consideration, but yeah, there is a
yeah,
commissioner and yes, so I agree.
yeah, and like I said, what one may get away with something, the other may not.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, John Ryder is in the house. Hey, Frank Taylor. Hey, Filipino did not delight. Now, Ron Zombie. I like that name, Ron Zombie. Hopefully Scott shows up to defend his honor. He can and he may. He
He was
might. He probably won't.
invited the last time,
Yeah, and he's
yes.
shown up before, and he usually does actually watch our lives. Um, he probably just doesn't, chime in, as it were. But I know he watches us. Hey, Scotty boy. Um,
Yeah, we keep hearing about John
John Smulo
Smulo.
needs
You talking
some
about the
thorough
guy,
investigating.
the guy that looks like that other vlogger and they look like Kojak? And I know I'm just putting it. He's the one with the no hair and everything. You said there's a couple that look like that. You
A
said
couple? What are you talking about?
a lot of
All right,
them.
guys. I'm not Scott Underworld as I see it isn't here. But Scott Underworld as I see it, he landed here in the Philippines. He
But
visited the Philippines. I was with him. for a good amount of time, and he says, George, he says, remind me to whatever I do, don't shave my head.
Yeah, because there's a lot of guys that are shaving their heads and that have that type of body shape, and I know I think few of them look alike, and I just mean that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, guys. There's a lot of retired,
So
somewhat big,
I all I
bald
know,
guys
the only
here.
thing that I know about him is he spends a lot of time with Mike's retirement channel, and that he all of a sudden popped up. Either he's all I know is he doesn't have bad editing, but I think he's paying an editor that is super super professional editing. And if he claims he did that, then how come his channel went from one type of editing to a brand new level? But it looks like he's paying somebody to edit that. That's like television studio editing style.
Hey, Bruce
But I
Davis.
don't know anything about his personal life, and he's not showing it.
Right. A Gamma Spate. Tony Manning. Oh, just so you know, Gamma Spate, he just says no. Um, guys, when you answer, say something on who or on what you're answering to, because even again, like I said, like when even if we're up to date on the comments, like for instance, like for example, we would have Bruce on the panel. I'm here, and then MYK Mike's on the panel. We would have this comment. Let's say, "Oh, he's lying." Just an example. That's an example. He's lying, and then I'm like, "Ooh, there's three guys here, as in he or the other guys in the chat." What I'm saying is, when you have an answer, try to address who and what you're answering to. Just yeah. Oh, hey, Bruce Davis. It's my birthday in the Philippines, and tomorrow's my real birthday. Aw, happy
Ah,
birthday,
happy
Bruce.
birthday. Regular guy is the talk of the town, but not in a good way. He's got enough fans. I mean, I would have to disagree. Right now, when we did that poll, it looks like 50% of people weren't on board with him being in trouble. They don't see the issue. It's like that half glass, half empty, half full situation because 50% of the people, almost, it was at 60% at one point, said that they didn't think he was doing anything. And even with the videos out, then we keep hearing that, well, there's a lot of other channels that are out there that are way worse activity on Walking Street and other parts of the Philippines or within the Filipino culture. And that, I mean, we've heard just about everything, but on his channel, we're seeing a lot of support for him. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not in a
Well,
it's bringing his people out to say, "Hey, Scotty, you've helped me with this," or we've seen just about every comment right now. So I'm seeing a little bit of everything.
yeah, I remember again, everybody's different. There's always a half glass full, half glass empty, the same exact way in this situation. Some people perceive him as what people portray him as, some people don't.
Hmm.
Actually, Andy Omar's in the
Hey,
house.
Andy.
News, yes. And Mayor doesn't want Brad Press, not Mayor, the barangay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard saying, but like I said, usually he's involved in those raids, and they do seem to be pretty planned. But
No,
I also think that they stay not stage. I think they stage it so he can be there and it's well planned because he wants to show that he is cracking down on it. But the funny thing is every time they go in there, they're finding way underage women in those places. No, a lot of them don't have work permits, IDs, and a bunch of stuff actually just goes down all at once. But I think they're just showing that they are taking care of things.
all
So,
right. Leroy Jenkins was talking about he's talking about Brian, filling the Philippines. He says his eggs weren't cooked the way he ordered, so he made a video ranting about a Filipino cook should be fired and become and berating tequila. Now here's the thing: be aware. It doesn't matter what country you're in. If you're a regular customer to a restaurant, there's a chance that that particular day that the cook, well, one, usually when we go to a restaurant that me and Heidi go to and then the food is off, I'll be like, Oh, it's probably the cook is probably off. They probably have the backup cook running. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Also be aware too that cooks are human too. He could have just had a bad day and then went to work anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people been to Tequila Reefs. We have a Tequila Reef video, and we think their food. I mean, we've been there a few times. Actually, we were going to go there the other day when we were actually going through
Yeah,
and
we
past that
actually
area, and I
talked
was
about
like,
it.
eh,
Yes,
it looked
but
kind of busy. But um, you have to ask yourself when YouTubers put that stuff up in the rants and things that are going on or the topics. You have to ask yourself, is it actually for the views? So
right, and you have to remember again, it's kind of like
because it's just not that channel. There are multiple channels that'll either go way above on it, and then you get there and the place is flat out crap, and they were getting free meals or free comps on hotels. Understand some even smaller channels will be given a couple nights at a hotel or something to say a bunch of positive stuff when it's a new place or the place has got low reviews and everything else. And it can be the opposite. But Tequila Reeves has been around for a long
well,
time.
also be aware that based on this vlogger's reviews, you have to remember that he comes to this place regularly for years, not just that day.
Yeah. We'll
And what I'm saying is, he comes to this particular restaurant almost on a regular. Well, he's on a regular basis. I wouldn't say every day. I would say probably twice a week, 3 times a week. But what I'm saying is, if all those years he didn't complain about it and now he complains, then there's something off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, James
Hey,
Miller.
there's James.
Rainy days and Mondays always get me down, huh? Yeah,
Oh
right.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're saying again.
Yeah. It's a
You
great
know,
song.
you have to take into consideration that he came to that exact restaurant on a regular basis, and after all these years now he complains. And yet, what again, there's nothing wrong with complaining, but what I'm saying is that means it's an off day, whether the cook was actually not the cook, regular cook, a backup cook, the cook would have been sick, or the cook could have been had a really bad day.
I just want to let you guys know, and this may sound out of place. We can't see, like, we only see a little bit of the chat at a time. Okay, so we do go to the starred stickers because they show up in a different category up here, and we will prioritize your chat based on that. So it is what it is. So it's what shows up first in the list. We try to get to the members when it's actually in there, but as of right now, there's not even a list to even prioritize who's a member with us right now. We just have to go through the list, guys. So if you want your stuff to be highlighted when we got this many people in the room or it's within the
Yeah.
conversation, we're just going down the list, whatever's pertaining to what we're talking about.
Hey, big call. Hey, Bill I from Toledo City, Cebu. Neil, haven't heard from you in a while, Neil. Neil says regular guy will not be deported.
I mean, is the offense deportable? Yes, we won't even disagree with that right now because it is in there to be blacklisted. What did I say? For 12 months or 5 years? I think it was under the 12-month. I just went through that a minute ago. I don't have the list up anymore, but sure it is. And then it's blacklistable afterwards. So that is for sure. So,
Filipino Delight says, where's the proof other than video clips that happened last year?
well, that'll be up to the individuals that are turning that in.
Thorless Island. Hey, Thor, how are you doing? Um, well, ma'am, she's asking what exactly did he do? Well, there have been some questionable videos that he made, and that's what he did.
I'm just going through some of the comments here. So understand we're reading through the comments.
World Philippines
Again,
not seeing any
highlighted.
YouTubers filling regular guy gap of actually traveling around the Philippines and showing what places and women are like.
Okay, here's the thing. I'll answer on that one. I do keep seeing that. And as an American expat here, and I'm always in YouTube because we're in YouTube and we're checking out other vloggers, there are quite a few of people that go on their motorcycles and travel the way he does. The reason a lot of you that are in here now are seeing it is, again, they're feeding you a realm of 20 or 30 vloggers that are listed in our group with Sunshine Shoulders, Regular Guy, Geo in the Philippines. There's a list of them, the Filipina P. And then on the side, there's a bunch of others. So they're just flooding your feed with what you feel are the only vloggers that are out there. But the other day, they had an award show and they showed there were 8,000 Philippine vloggers here. Now, I don't know if that included expats that are here on a long period base, but there's 8,000 and they gave an award for the top 100. And the only
None of
person
them
that
are
was in there was
anybody you
Kulos.
know.
Well, Kulos was in it.
Well, he,
Kulos
yeah, I
because he just
guess, yeah.
become Filipino. So his citizenship, which we said they've only done 16 or 17 of those ever since the beginning of time. And so there's a ton of them that do this type of vlogging. There's a lot of them. So that's what we were saying is that we don't pull no punches type of, we've got a ton of stuff that we've actually done. We talk about the country. George talks about the country, but there's so many of the channels out there that's doing the stuff like he's doing, and they're showing the country and they're
It's
they're
very
boosting
generic.
tourism. It's getting to be very
It's
generic.
very generic.
And pre-pandemic, let's say that there were 200 or 300 that were here. Now there's thousands, literally thousands. We can't go anywhere right now in Angel City or Mabalacat or over in I can't think of the other area, but you can't go there without seeing vloggers everywhere on the street, by
They're
the street
everywhere.
food vendors, at the
And they
grocery
do
stores,
exactly
the
the same thing
malls.
he does.
Right. And there's a lot of Filipinos that are
Even with
doing
the
it.
girls.
Right. So, but that's what people are saying. They like that he's traveling and talking to the women. And then for others, they feel that he's just feeding the actual pedos out there or the guys that are looking for super, super young women. But on the other hand, discussion in the community states that so are some of these other vloggers that are marrying 18, 19, and 20-year-olds or dating 18, 19, and 20-year-olds, or Filipino vloggers that are actually showing other Filipinas that are looking for expat husbands. And here's so and so, she's 18 years old and got one child, but she's single and looking for love, or so and so does this and so does that. So it's kind of, a lot going
Right.
on out there.
No, don't get me wrong. I mean, when I say it's very generic what regular guy's doing, be aware that it takes a lot of chutzpah and a lot of courage to go do what he does. And again, I commend him for it. Again, living on your backpack and traveling the Philippines, basically,
Yes.
in a country you've never been to, takes a lot of courage.
It does. LG. I would disagree, but they just don't do it.
Well,
That's why George and I were kind of laughing at that the other day, because if they do that, they're going to have to start with a lot of
Angeles City
people.
would be empty. No, that's a joke.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Well,
It's
but
full
no,
every
no,
night.
no. The way that laws are in place, it's somewhat kind of all right. For instance, this one: by finding a bar girl participating in prostitution is a deportation or deportable offense. Yes, but for the most part, they won't. They'll use it against you if somehow you did something off that other people don't want. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Mhm. Andy just told Bruce that even on Walking Street, they don't have milk tea, but I'm pretty sure they got a couple coffee shops that are actually running right through there that does different drinks.
milk tea.
There's a crap load of places up and down that street, further down at the other end. I'd have to go take
Well,
another look, but there are more than just the bars there, babe. They've got salons, massage places, coffee shops. There's one further down, there's one midway
okay, now I don't remember any milk tea, but
by itself.
by itself. However, be aware I'm not looking for milk tea. What I'm
That's
saying,
true. I'm just saying there's a lot of places down there. I'm sure
there's a
if
lot.
we went down and looked, but I'm
Put it
not
this
gonna.
way: like in our
You'll
neighborhood
see people
alone,
with barbecue down there.
there's probably okay. I know personally there's about
Yeah, he
three.
said further down. Yeah, there are places further down.
Never mind. There's 4 milk tea places that I'm aware of. However, I'm sure there's more. It's just that I don't look for it. You know what I'm saying? If you're not looking for it, you won't see it. So what I'm saying is, did I see any? No, but was I looking for him? Not really. I was too busy looking around at the other sites. But anyway, you got again. If you don't look for it, odds are you won't see things. If that makes any sense. So in all fairness, so
Yeah.
Twiggy says it's up to immigration if they want. So it's not that bad. Solicitation of prosties. I like that one. Prosties is penalty. Very rare. Please, no, it's rare. Again, they don't usually do that. Well, actually, that's the thing. Yeah, I said I like the fact that he moped.
He mapped out, not moped, mapped.
Oh, mapped out his travels in Mindanao because I want to visit the place someday.
That's bigger than that side.
Huh? Yeah.
Okay.
Gabriel Laxon says LG if it's enforced prostitution. No, no, no. It is. It is. It has always been. But like I said, it's one of those. Even in the U.S., most of the time cops just don't. They know who the prostitutes are. They just don't go after them. You know what I'm saying? Unless there's a reason to.
Isn't that one of Mike's people? Now that I think about it.
Yeah, but it's against if you think about it.
No, I know. No, I'm just asking. We've seen X amount of people in Mike's room too. A lot of viewers.
Ron Zombie spoke of that which should not be spoken.
There's a lot.
Oh, okay. I
I
see. I see
agree.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
For the locals, it's insulting for them to focus on their faces on camera. Then he will pause it.
Yeah. So what's going on for those that don't know? They think that he's literally taking his camera and zooming direct while he's filming. What he's doing is there's a film and then he crops it and it appears like it's closer. Um, so in the end, he's is somewhat zooming in when he actually shows it to the people. But honestly, and that is just being honest, there's a ton of them that are actually doing this, or they have where the Filipinos are actually on their channel unwillingly, or like, as far as passing by. We were discussing it probably less than a month or two ago about a few of the vloggers that are down on Walking Street, including the Russian guy that everybody's been talking about, that has disputes with bar owners and other expats and his camera broken up and all of that. They're just saying a lot of the vloggers down there, eventually they're going to end up having them get permits or make sure they're properly licensed and everything else because of, I think eventually, a few vloggers here and there pre-pandemic, now that there's so many of them, I bet you it won't be long before they just enough complaints will come in from the Filipinos about that because there are so many laws protecting Filipinos here. It's unreal. So,
Well, you guys have to realize that social media, YouTubing, Facebooking, TikTok, is relatively new as far as social standards are concerned. Meaning, it's been within the last decade, last 10
mhm.
years,
And it picked up
and
during the pandemic.
correct. And like, actually, somebody said something here. Yeah, there's no freedom in this world. It's not there's no freedom, is that new technology creates new laws. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not new, but it's new when it comes to society's concern. And that's what I'm getting at is, for example, the camera and pausing and all that. There's nothing new. This is relatively new, you know what I'm saying? This is not, nobody usually files a case and is not usually. Um, Twiggy says, I've seen store owners around Walking Street Police about prosties, and police just says, well, they have to feed their kids. No, this is true in any cop, in any city, in any country. Be aware, for the most part, cops don't really want to catch. Well, okay, that's where I come up with what I call hotshot cops. When I say hotshot cops, it means they're new from the academy. They just want to catch bad guys. I put quotation on bad guys. Because again, I got a lot of tickets and driving tickets in the U.S. Not because I was a bad driver, but what I'm saying is when cops are new out of the academy, that's when they want to catch people. However, once they're veteran in, they really don't want to catch nobody. And especially here in the Philippines, like cops will leave you alone unless they're ordered to. If you
No, I believe they understand that. I think even down to the political figures, they
right,
know what's going on. As a matter of fact, I still think that they know if they raided those bars every day, they would find what they're going to find. But I think they, like you said, it's strategic, and that's about all I can say on that.
right, and
And I
it's
know that there are super young women in there, and they just don't look young. They are young. They find time and time again that they're like 12, 14, 15, and it is very scary.
James Party says soon everything will change overnight. Chazam says free Scotty boy. There you go. Bam Samoy. What a shock. There are prostitutes in Angeles.
Mm. There's a walking street in a lot of Asian countries. Let me hold on.
Okay, now, okay, sorry, I'll put it up. I know a foreigner in Philippines who is using cancer supposedly for a fiance for money gain, opening up a GoFundMe and not giving her the money when she was alive.
Are we talking about that young couple? The guy kind of, were they like a couple in their 30s? And he does really good editing. We've seen that couple, and we know he said she had cancer and did a GoFundMe, but I've only seen him on and off. I know that 90 Day Fiance woman did the same, told a bunch of her people she had it, and then it turned out that she didn't. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, Steven says the way the regular guy is honestly creepy. Scotty's small fish go after bigger ones.
Just to be fair,
Um,
I'm
now,
letting him
Big
know.
Cal, nobody's saying anything about how a regular guy touches up young kids. Well, I haven't really seen it on even on video. I mean, I've seen what he did, but I don't think that classifies as it unless I missed a different video.
You talking about where he taps with his hand
Yeah,
or does that
that's not
or puts hands on his
touching.
shoulder
Now, if you did this along,
and rubbing?
right, and then there's the backhand
That we haven't watched every single video
or
either.
the backhand touching the back. See, there's
So
but this.
I just sent Scotty the
I
actual
again,
link.
I could have missed a different video. You know what I'm saying? But this again, if he did this like this, it would have been different. Or if he did the back rub, like from the shoulder down, or holding the hip, it would have been different. Um, YouTubers versus Krabby Patty. There you
Okay. Well,
go.
like I said, it'll take a lot.
Now,
And understand again, there's no anonymous reporters according to
yeah, no.
immigration.
Now, be aware too, though. I'm not condoning. He did do the tap. However, it was an unwanted tap because she did do this.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
We did see that.
If you kiss a girl and she does this afterwards, then you're probably in trouble. Just saying.
How many times a month do I do that?
Every time.
It's not true.
John Ryder says, "Deport me." Well, airfares are getting. Here's the thing
Well,
about when they deport you.
it's kind of odd.
Um, for the most part, you'll be sitting there for a long time if you're gonna wait for them to deport you. But if you pay for it, then it's different.
I,
Bruce Thompson says some questionable simping.
it is, you know, We've discussed that simping things. I think the guys like to see Scotty and his travels. I do believe a lot of the travels, okay, includes him being around young girls, okay, and showing them like he just showed up, claims that he got him off a dating site. And some of the things I would have to say as a female is kind of off-putting. And I've confronted him on that. Not every video, like you said, if people didn't like it, they shouldn't watch it, okay? And but some of them are, but I get where that would attract a certain crowd for sure. I mean, think about it. Guys, thinking they're going to come here like Scotty and go on dating sites. He is feeding a specific demographic in that manner. But I feel a lot of channels are. I'm sorry. I feel a lot of them are. Can I call out a channel? I'm about ready to call one out.
Oh no.
Right? No, it's true. How many of them in our circle have women that are under the age of 23, 24 on their wives? They bring them onto live streams. And the other day it was like, oh, look at me. And they were like that. And I'm like, I thought you didn't do that type of channel, but there you are telling people to look at your woman's side boob. And I'm like, that's kind of odd. So it's kind of like they claim they don't do it and then they bring their spouses on and they're showing that they have this type of life and that type
No,
of life.
this
And
happens on a regular
so
basis.
it's, to me, they're also doing it. So
They're
I'm
like
not trying to deflect on what
they're like
Scotty's
pimping their
doing.
wife.
It's the same as him. He's kind of putting that certain demographic out about, come get you the young wife, look at mine, look at mine. This is the great life I have. And then Scotty's doing the same thing. To me, for a long time, both me and George have said those channels have always been off. But I mean, everybody watches a channel for a specific reason.
Right. And
So
again,
it's not what the whole channel's about. I don't believe Scotty's channel is 100% about that, but it's
it's
sure.
it's not. I don't agree on that one
I
because
still think he's kind of feeding. So, but I have sent him a link, by the way. So he
well,
was sent a link on the last live. So he has that link. Do you want me? Or
no.
okay,
All
so
right. For
we're waiting
example,
to open
Mr.
the panel.
Savsuck says, for example, hey, Mr. Savsuck, how you doing?
Hey,
Mr. Savsuck says regular guys being targeted by bullies, but his vlogs are truly captivating. Let's hope the Taliban police, led by dang, I sorry, Taliban police was led by A. Omar, sees their harassment. With Scotty's mobile, regular guys' vlogs are good. Now, Mr. Savsuck again is on the side with regular guy. Okay. And the funny thing is the ones that are not there's just not just one YouTuber, there's several YouTubers that are anti-regular guy. There's an anti-regular guy movement. And in all fairness, watch their channel. And I mean watch their channel. Usually the people who want to bring up torches and stuff like that are the ones that again some of you know will know what I'm talking about, but again, I'm not saying the channel or channels. There's actually more than one. Um, when I speak to these people, they say, "Oh, what he's doing is worse. I know he's not a pedophile, pet, but
look at
what he's
creepy
doing is
Tim
worse.
K.
He's feeding the crowd." Now, so let me get this straight. You're telling me that regular guy's worse because he's not a a child diddler, as it were, but he feeds the child diddlers, and yet here you are and watching your channel. Wait a minute, didn't you say how to pick up a bar girls? Didn't you just
We said
say
that the other
how
day.
to pay their bar fines and how much to pay their bar fines? Wait a minute, dude, are you seriously just now cutting the kettle black?
We just want to let you know that a lot of the channels will sway with what's in there, and we're trying to give as much information, but that is should be obvious to a lot of people that But then again, so does a lot of news channel. One minute they're talking about Trump, and then the next minute they're talking about, which I feel is a little different. But you can, as a vlogger, say that you don't approve of this, and if we have, then I say prove it. But it's for the most part in that option, the very next day they're like, I don't talk about gossip. And then the next day they're doing the exact same thing. So it's the same. We've seen the same people actually say something about regular guy that's actually been known to watch regular guy. So 1 minute praising and the next minute tearing him down.
Now, keep in mind again, I'm no Scotty boy's watching us. And it's not. I'm not saying these things because he's watching us. The thing is, do we watch regular guy? Yes. Are we fans of his? Actually, no, we're not.
Mhm.
Do we watch? Yeah, we do. We do. We find him entertaining, but we're not fans of his. Um, for example, he used to tell these stories, and they're fascinating. And now he's out on the road, and he travels, and honestly, I'm like, wow, good for you, and I mean that with all my heart. But what I'm saying is, we're not, you know, we don't have a skin on the game on his side by any chance, because sorry, Scotty boy, we're not fans of yours. But hey, we watch you. You know what I'm saying?
Geechee Lions in the house. I do not follow regular guy. So yes.
World Philippines says seems like sour grapes from from YouTubers, in my own opinion.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Bruce. Tone down your comments. That's why I'm not putting them up, because they're kind of a little bit too much. I mean, in all fairness,
We
bro.
can leave them in there, but it's the
Yeah.
same as we've discussed. If we put them up, then that means it doesn't mean that we totally agree with it, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and tone down your comments. I've been reading. It's not just one comment. Just tone them down.
we do read through the
Yeah. MF says regular
comments.
guy is my hero.
And I did want to mention, like I was telling George, we do post about 90, probably 7% of stuff. We don't post stuff on here. Well, actually, it blocks links on here. We have that turned on. But if you try to put a link on our channel to other YouTube channels or other stuff, we don't post that stuff because it automatically gets held through YouTube. And remember, if you make a comment on top of a comment, it doesn't show unless you guys go and look back in the comments. So a lot of people think that their posts have not been in there. And we don't care if it's you guys saying stuff about us, we still leave it in there. But there are things that we will actually remove. There's kind of limits of what's actually being said in there. I mean, like people talking about often people and so should this and that. We're not going to leave that type of violent threats to other people. And it's not, honestly, it's not to us. It's been for other people. And we're not going to leave that stuff in there. So, but if you guys call us names, it's going to be in there. But remember, don't think that we didn't put that up there. I'm finding comments on top of comments on top of comments. So you have to go look deeper into the comments to find it. They just don't list them individually for you to see. It's usually on top of another comment. So I just wanted to say that the stuff is there.
Loving the Philippines. Thing is, he says, with Armstrong, he contributed jobs for Filipinos.
Yeah, I seen her
Philippines
say
less
that.
likely to remove foreigner who helps boost the economy.
I
Well, depends on how he did it. If he did it legally, that would be a plus. If he did it illegally, then that would be a minus.
I don't think he provided that many jobs. You make it like it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds or something.
Well,
I think
and again,
even if it was 50 of them at any given point, I don't think that's a reason they'd keep them there if the wife complained of you. I mean, there is a lot of stuff we've seen that she has posted, okay, and accusations. And right now, in her own comment section, she has stuff from him saying that she's a cheater. And then he has posted stuff. It's just getting kind of ugly. But I don't think that would stop it if the wife reports the things that she thinks happened, then they're not going to pay attention to how many Filipinos have actually
right,
been
and like I
hired.
said, depends on how he did it. Because if you've ever owned a business before, you have to have all the legalities. You pay for, the federal tax, yada yada yada. Same thing here. You have to pay for their pag-ibig. You have to pay for their PhilHealth. You have to pay for their taxes.
Did he get the business license? Is the
Right.
business license in
It
her
depends
name?
on
Did he
how he
put the
did it.
land in her name and then sell it afterwards? And then that become another law in
Yeah.
itself. There's a
So
lot going on. But I think that's why they're not pushing anything. I think she's just taking the 50% and she's actually taking the business and just going to call it quits. But it's still, he falls in that category already because I don't think he actually changed his status the moment that they weren't living together or when they weren't even in the same room but on the same property. And all that changes some things.
Right. Steven says it's so obvious that the regular guy is a weirdo. He has to get thrown out of the Philippines. Who talks like that to young girls? John Ryder says regular guy is a man girl.
Well, that was odd. So
Brian Simon says regular guy contributes to Philippine economy when he buys miners buns. It's funny.
yeah, they might actually say that too.
Now Thora has seen his videos, and like I said, it's a matter of half glass, half full, half empty. I guess I haven't seen regular guy talking to girls like that.
See, we were discussing that the other day that right now they're saying probably 3 or 4 out of 10 people in the Philippines are, well, probably 4 out of 10 if you add them 18 and under. But they said 13 and under. There's a lot of Filipinos. The average age, or when they put that median or something, is 20 or 25. So what we're saying is out of 10 people, probably 6 of them are under 25. And it's just and then put in the fact that a 25-year-old probably does look 15, 16, 17. We're not saying that who he's talking to may not be actual minors, but they do look really young.
Andy Omar says the Philippines. There was a Spaniard who was one of the biggest travel agencies around here. Helped boost the economy. Guess what? Deported during COVID.
I wonder who that was. We know there were a few.
Travel Trend says deported for what? I honestly,
Which one?
yeah,
Travel trends. Are you talking about what the possibility right now is, according to the attorney's website and looking at immigration, what it's deportable and blacklisted for would be that video that's going around. But I mean, they could probably round up another 100 people down there a day. That's what I'm saying. So that would probably be the most, or if they find, some other things. But
Travel Trend TV. No, I understand what you're saying. He's not unskilled. When they say skilled labor, it means you have paperwork proving it that you have that skill.
and according to somebody on her site, and she left it on there, that there was a bunch of loans. Okay, this is all hearsay. Allegedly, he took a bunch of loans just to get to the Philippines, and that he owes a bunch of money to family members, and that he didn't have a whole lot going on before he came here, and that he did have issues. So I don't know that he can actually, I mean,
Right. No.
there's been a lot of questions about his actual skills, whether he built or not. It could have just been the builders that were actually there. And the fact that his wife said she hired and she stated that a real engineer to
Right.
complete the house
Well,
properly. They
and-
were her words, and it seemed to me
and-
a little emphasized.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's basing it on what you said, unskilled labor.
Oh, it's one of them.
That's what I'm saying. When they say unskilled, they're not talking about he doesn't have skill. No, they're saying, does he have paperwork to prove
That
is
he's a master of something? Because if somebody else
Right.
hires him in based on something, he's going to have to prove that he's got some sort of
So, right,
serious
if he doesn't have
master skill.
he doesn't have certifications or anything like that, it goes in the category of unskilled, legal standpoint wise. Not my opinion, not Heidi's opinion. Legal.
I just want to let you know, a lot of these expats come here,
Right.
and all of a sudden
Right.
they're experts at everything. They're professionals. They're big college. They had, we keep hearing all kinds of things about these different expats.
Right.
And the same with him. According to the information on the side, he wasn't anything when he actually come over here, that he was actually some sort of deadbeat of some sort. But that's just according to what's going around. So if any of that is actually true, there's a lot of people that have skills that where it look like they've got skills. It doesn't mean that it's licensable. And it'd be up to the Philippines to decide all of that.
Well, what I'm saying is, on the legality standpoint, that's what it means. For example, if Pablo Picasso was to
Look at World
go
Zoom and
go to
all
the
of his stuff.
Philippines and
I was a
apply,
surgeon,
they can
and
deport him because he's classified as unskilled labor, even though he's Pablo Picasso, because he doesn't have master's degrees in art. You know what I'm saying?
be the same thing. And
Unskilled
World
doesn't
Zoom
mean
is
you don't have
a
skill. It just means you don't have
yeah, just because he
anything.
can build a house. I get the
Right.
skills that's in front of people, but when they go to look into all of that, but
Correct.
that was just a list of stuff that I was going through. The reason he would be is I can't imagine that he kept up on all that, but it's a possibility
Well,
that he
but
kept up on all the licensing of his YouTube that he claims he owns, and that he kept up on switching everything out as his marriage fell apart, but it is his responsibility.
right.
So
Black ground, that's a little harsh. I don't think that's how it really is. Regular guy doesn't have a country. Go back. He turned his back on Canada. He is an American. It's Philippines or die.
well, here's the thing. He already stated in his own videos that going back is not an option for him for multiple reasons. I believe he said it on our channel too. It's super expensive. We've said that it's just outright expensive there. A couple thousand for rent, the job situation, that it's just not an option for him. That'd be the reason. So that'd be, I don't think it could be because according to him, he was how long? What do we know about him over in Korea? So there's
Well,
been a lot of things going on about that too, but we don't know much about his. But according to him, I've heard 10 years and then I heard 20 years. So I'm kind of confused on how long he's
I don't
been
think
there.
it's 20, but Al Rogan. Now 12 months for each act or occurrence. Remember, you cannot be charged for the same act. Each occurrence, if it's different occurrences, but if it's the same act, it falls under the same act.
And some are just permanent bans.
Right.
So, but we found that list. So, and they're available online.
Right. Love
So,
Regular Guy. His channel shows people of all parts of Philippines. Well, like I said, travel trends. I'm not talking about skilled or unskilled. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. This again, unskilled is classified under if you cannot,
I
if you don't
mean,
have papers
the
to
question
prove
would
it,
be, can he
you
actually prove it?
fall
Just because he's
into
building a
unskilled.
house doesn't mean that he's skilled.
Cor-
So that's, I'm sorry, it
Right.
doesn't.
He needs papers. He needs certifications. If you don't have those, I don't care. Again, my example again is Pablo Picasso came here. He's still classified as unskilled because he has no paperwork.
Right. That's the best way to look at it. And remind me, did I actually say he is an unskilled laborer? Did I say that? I mean, he sure seems to
No,
be
no, no,
focused. I just read the list.
no. He says reasons for
I mean,
deportation.
but maybe he is. I don't know.
No, he may have paper. He may have paperwork or not. But if again,
Well, his wife sure is calling him out.
well, regardless, unskilled means no paperwork. Regardless of how skilled you are, it doesn't matter. If you're the best in the world, if you don't have paperwork in the eyes of the law, you're unskilled. If you don't have paperwork.
And at the end of the day, none of that will matter if his wife actually turns him in.
Andy Omar says, thing is, would regular guy do this in Canada or Korea? No.
Oh, well, yeah, a lot of guys wouldn't be doing a whole lot of things that they're doing here. For some reason, this has been something debatable over the years that the average expat would not be over here doing the things. These just aren't guys that are actually just sitting back retired like we are. We go out to eat, we go to the mall, we do the same thing in the retirement, besides a YouTube channel that everybody does back in their country, the US, Canada, other countries, as far as retirement. But some of these guys get over here and act a fool. And you guys know that's true. Think about all the channels fighting, having babies, getting married, giving up all their money, buying land, building these houses just to be taken down the road or do something stupid like Mark Thornton did. He actually got in a fight. Okay. It's not, I don't give a shit if Dexter said, F you, your wife is a alleged heifer and went on about this and that and talked about her. Him punching him the way he did in the end, I don't care how he tumbled out the door. The point is he's the one now that's in trouble, and that's all that matters. But it's like the guys going out there and doing a lot of stuff, they get, and then the other guys that are the pedos and does things like they would never lure in 12 kids to sit inside their house and feed them candy and chicken and lay with them in bed and all that. If one neighbor's seen that, that would be the end of you. Here, they seem to think they can come over here and do weird stuff like that. And I've seen it time and time again. And then you got those fools that keep putting it on the camera. That's what George just wants to say fool. Fools.
I pity the fool.
Pity the fools.
Now,
So
here's the thing.
if you're offended, bite me. I mean, it's the
Well,
truth.
what I'm saying is, if the shoe was on their foot, in all fairness, again, Mark and Dexter, in all fairness, if the shoe was on their foot
It'd be Dexter on the front of our
if
thumbnail
Mark
right
Thornton
now.
is the one with the gouged eyes and a scratched up nose,
There'd be Dexter.
they would be Mark Thornton. We'd be showing, and we'd be still presenting
Oh,
the
I don't have a
same
hat,
things the exact same way that we did.
I guess I could have acted out Dexter here
It's
for a
not
minute.
because we're Mark Thornton fans or Dexter fans or whatnot. We'll
At the end of the
present things to
day-
you the exact same way because that's how it is. Sorry if you feel that way. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Mark Thornton's not the one with the gouged eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Sunshine knows it's the truth. They act a fool. They act a fool,
Hey,
man.
Sunshine.
You know what? You can only call so many people friends here. I got like one true friend here, and that's George and my cat Mango over there. I don't like the rest of the cats in this house.
Oh, wait, hold on. Time's up. Time for my next 50 pesos per hour.
Really?
I'm not your friend.
Hey, babe, maybe we ought to run a live stream from like Envy or something and let people get a real peek. Say, look at that fool there. Look at that fool there. Look at that.
That's
fool,
not a
fool,
real
fool, fool,
peek.
fool.
Now, if you want a real peek, I'll go in the alleyway between Envy and Phillies, and then I'll show
Do
you
an
how
interview.
it really is.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you, Sunshine.
Thank you so much, Sunshine.
You guys are officially YouTube stars with 400 viewers. Yeah, we like to thank the people, but we appreciate it so much. And if you guys aren't subscribed, this is only going to go on from here. And what did I say right before the live stream? I really wish there was more I could say. And the only thing I can't say is more about certain Filipinos, okay, because there's laws. And believe me, there'd be a lot more going on if I could say more about the country. But we still have to have a level of respect, and it is my husband's country. I told George that if we were back in the U.S., we'd probably run in an all-celebrity show talking about all that stuff that's going on over there. But unfortunately, we're in the Philippines, and it is about expats and the life that goes here, and the things are going on with how you live here, prices, what the streets are looking like, what's going down and all around. Or we'd be saying a lot more.
No. We are again responsible with the information we have. Ever since when we started this channel, I keep saying we can't say that we can't say anything other than this. We can't, because there's certain things you can't say on YouTube, and forget the YouTube part. You can't say in the Philippines at all. But point being, we know a lot of things going on, even in Dumaguete. Unfortunately, in all fairness, I really can't say a lot. Sometimes even in their lives, like, I don't even think I can say this about what's his face. You know what I'm saying? Again, we try to be very responsible with the information.
Said Richard will have to go back to utility survey, making big money and laughing. They said he took a loan to come see her, and a lot of stuff has actually been
they're
leaking
talking about
through the
Richard.
crowd. Yeah, through
No,
the
there's a lot
cracks.
of again, a lot of people saying that Richard doesn't really know anything about construction.
He said he made way more money there, which honestly, that's probably true.
Oh yeah, no,
like
no
that
doubt, no
house,
doubt.
that house, even if it was sold at 1.5, we couldn't buy the place we're living at right now for less than 2 million. And I hate to say it, I like it here and everything else, but I wouldn't give up 2 million pesos, for where we're actually living. You can get a fully built place out where it's less congested and everything for about the same price. So if they paid less than 2 million for that place that they were in, as I'm to understand, that's really cheap. So what kind of profits could they have made? Everybody's talking about how they got rich on it and how his wife should be able to do better and he should. No, not really. I mean, let me calculate what the cost of that is. But if you think about, he bought a lot of equipment. He did get some sponsorship and everything, but
But
there's no money to be made in this country
there's
unless you're
buts. Now, what are the buts? Location, location, location. Depending on the
Yeah.
location, land may be cheap or expensive. When
Mhm.
you come across land that's cheap, question it.
Yeah, that means at 2 million pesos, okay, which one of those houses went for, that's less than 37,000 US
Right.
dollars. How much money could somebody have made?
Right.
And
That no, I mean it's cheap even in by Philippine standards. No, really, it's cheap by Philippine standards. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean just here in the Philippines too. Even in the U.S. or anywhere part of the world you're in, Australia, Canada, UK. If the land and materials are cheap in a particular area, question the area because
if you,
you know.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not gonna go deeper because that's not what it's about. This live's about.
subscribe.
Subscribe.
Oh, thanks.
Philippine Antics.
All right, ready?
Philippine Antics.
How'd you guys
World Philippines says how many of these
subscribe?
violations matter? Well, that's another thing in Barm or
That's what,
Mindanao.
that's the very first thing we said. That's the point we're trying to make today is we're trying to find out things are so much going on out there and regular guys become what's going around in the community, multiple channels of 20 or 30 that we're surrounded by. What the heck was that? It sounded like an accident outside. Do you think he's going to go down? What is deportable or what's blacklisted? So we thought we would go over beings are several actual people in jail right now in a detention center waiting to be deported. What's the possibilities? Well, as of yesterday, I didn't know that you can actually just pay and leave. Like literally, you can go ahead and deport yourself out and speed things up. Okay, get a lawyer, pay, get out. I won't say that I know each step, but I didn't even think that was a possibility once they caught you. Then I found out depends on different things. Like I knew there was a list of things, but the thing that he's being accused of is on that list. So, will immigration take into consideration people who give up their full address, ID, and they let them know who it is? Okay, because according to them, they don't take anonymous tips. Now, maybe that changed in the last year or so, and that's outdated. But they're saying that for all that to exist and go towards a case, they need all that information. They need full details, every bit of information that they're going to get. Now, will they just take anything? I don't know. Things change so much from barangay to barangay here, from city to city. It's unreal. But what will he possibly go down for? How long will he be once they have him leave before they'll let him come back in? Will he ever come back in? That
Right.
is the question.
Yeah, Nas says most of his flowers are expats. Now, Brian Thompson, this I disagree with you only because by observation. Regular guy only shows slums, hardly of all the Philippines. Now, when
Infrastructure here isn't the best, on a
well,
side note.
does he show slums? Yes, he does. But for the most part, have I've seen slum videos, but that's not his shtick. Because I even tell Heidi, oh, that's not a good area. But right now he's mostly in the rural areas, so I wouldn't call the rural
I
areas slum.
well,
I
here
mean, if you're in the country,
it's infrastructure, babe. I can only think of
right? But
like
that's rural.
Boracay,
That's rural,
BGC,
though.
Makati,
That's what I'm getting at.
but see, a lot of guys haven't even been here. Most of our viewers
Right.
or people in here right now haven't actually seen
I mean, he's
Philippines.
in the country, and that's what I'm saying. You can't call that slums. That's country.
Because most
You
of
know.
the areas actually it is an infrastructure thing. They're
Me-
working on sanitation, they're working on the buildings wear down quick here because of the
Right.
sun and everything looks worn out because of the sun. And we seen something the other day, you said they just built that, but when we stared at the building here in Angel City, it was already deteriorating, and that's been less than 2 years.
Yeah.
It looks super old. So I'm kind of wondering because, like, a lot of them here lately is areas that we've actually seen, but I don't think he's exactly slumming. I think it's just part of what the Philippines is looking like.
Well, that's what I mean. Well, those most of the places I've seen recently are rural. I mean, videos of Camden, New Jersey, and videos of upstate New York. I mean, in two
Yeah.
different things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So the infrastructure you just have to get used to. It's like everyday life. I mean, it doesn't exactly But I did see him, yeah, out in the province recently. I seen other videos of when he was here in Angel City, taking a look at him. And sure, he's meeting up with girls that are on dating sites, and a lot of them are super, super thirsty guys. And a lot of them are in a broke situation.
Right.
Just saying, it's we all know that's the truth.
You gotta relax
So
and
he's going to
yeah.
certain areas to meet up with them. It's
You gotta realize it says there are sex bats in this chat. In my opinion, well, there's sex bats everywhere at any time because sex bats are people too. Um, Ron Zombie says Scott has no game.
Scott.
I imagine regular must edit out of his videos. Well, Thora, dang now I need to watch his vlogs just to see what the issue is. Anyone living in Angel City says, okay, I disagree on that one too, John
Yeah.
Ryder. Again, Walking Street are two little streets, very, very short streets that honestly most people don't give a shit about Walking Street. If
Right.
Heidi didn't watch YouTube, she wouldn't even know it existed. Put it
That's
that way.
true.
And we drive by it on a regular basis.
Yep. And so it isn't. The international airport is here. There's everything here, guys. Everything is here. That's all I can say is it's
Angel
two
City
streets.
is not a city block, and everybody hovers around Walking
And
Street.
that's not the downtown area.
Most
a lot
people
of people
don't
keep
even
showing
know what-
that as being
honestly,
the downtown area. It's nowhere near it.
A delivery guy. I talked to this delivery guy, and I said, you know where Candy Towers is? Like, where's that? That's by Walking Street. Where's that at? This is a delivery guy. Point being, that's how insignificant Walking Street
It's
is.
it's kind of like that half glass, half full, and what you're
It's-
looking for. If that's what you're
it's not
thinking the
even
entire
that.
town is, then that's what you're going to find. And I won't be the first to say this, and I'm just going to say it, and George is going to cringe. Right now, the same with regular guy. If you guys go to that channel and that's what you're thinking, that's what you're going to find. Hey, for Christ's sake, you can watch our videos and say, if that's what you're looking for, that's what they're going to find. Oh, look at George and Heidi. They were, the camera was walking behind girls and that's all they're doing. It's what you're actually looking for too.
Now,
Like, okay, here 1 second. A consult real quick. Sorry. Okay. I just gave him the word I wanted to say out loud, but I'm gonna wait to use that word later.
all right, now there's several stories of which one is the original Walking Street. So I'm not gonna say which one the original Walking Street is because I don't want to get up in a debate versus an expat telling me what I know about my own country and my own town where I grew up in. But anyway, the original Walking Street, first off, the original Walking Street is not Walking Street. The original Walking Street is a fraction of the size of the original Walking Street. And I'm talking about when the US bases were here. The Walking Street now is if my arm is Walking Street now is this. Walking Street then is this. The old original Walking Street. Not even close to what it is. Point being is Angel City is not about Walking Street. Never has been. And even then, the only reason why Walking Street was this big versus this now is because the US bases were here. Remember, supply and demand, I get there's always been expats here, even in the 70s. But back then they had young servicemen who want to sow their oats. So the demand then was big versus now. Not even close.
And I'm just going to answer real quick. Dysfunctional family said off topic. If a Billy Vine comes back to the Philippines, how long does it take to get dual citizenship? I thought that can be done before they even leave. Probably best to handle all that. I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah, either way.
That's something that we haven't.
I wouldn't worry about it if you're Filipino, and don't worry about it because if you're gonna stay here, you should have enough funds to take care of it. And I say funds because the time, you should have enough time to take care of it, because by Philippine law, if you're going to be a dual citizen, that tells me you are a Filipino of Filipino descent, which means you fall into the bulk buying category,
Yeah, you just
which
said that.
means you have an entire year to take care of your paperwork, and that's enough.
Yeah. Yep,
Right.
definitely.
So
But I wouldn't wait to the last few months.
right,
I would
that's why I
start
said you
6
should
months, but
have
I
enough
can't.
funds to
Everything,
take care of it right
right?
away.
Everything changes as far as immigration, because here in Angel City, just a few months ago, it literally was just a few months. Now they're claiming it's 6 to 8 months all of a sudden. So it is getting busier and busier. So it depends on where you file it too. That's why I said we don't know. I don't want to give you a time frame. So.
And Andy, I think somebody just dig at you. John Ryder says, "Who is that? Who's Andy Omar?"
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be. I'm not trying to. It's maybe not everybody does. It doesn't mean everybody in this room knows who he is. So people do come from different areas.
Armstrong was my neighbor. His workers do not like him. Per my nephew, he would see them daily. Also, many unfinished projects here. Germans complain is true about those house
Okay,
unfinished.
we seen them direct from the German people. They came in and said some stuff. So if they're the ones that actually, so that's what I'm saying, is more and more is actually leaking out. We might cover that later in the week, because his own wife, he did a filing on her additional to stop talking about it, but she didn't remove the video, and she definitely didn't take down the comments. So, and she showed where he made a comment on her channel, and it's still sitting there. So it's damning to him. And he asked for it to be removed, but obviously she didn't move. So hate to say it, good for her.
Now, if it's true that he has a lot of unfinished projects,
He tried to flex and got snapped.
um, if it's true, and I say if it's true, point is that I'm addressing it. There's probably some truth to this. I'm not saying it is or it's not, because I personally can't verify it. But if that alone is true, that alone could be grounds for deportation. Because, if you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to build this for you and here's the money, give me the money, and they gave him the money, which from what we've
Well,
heard.
anything, any of it. And so we get that Donna can, but what if those other expats did a report or something else,
Right,
or
the
land in
other
her name
expats,
just to
correct.
sell it? And it's kind of everything's kind of all over the place, guys.
Right. Rafik64 says that Scott has a nice scooter. Yes, it is. And Scott is busy with his baby Roonies.
I suspect that Scotty will talk down the road. I think he's anticipating the rest of stuff to be said about him before he comes forward.
He's pulling his punches right now, and he's waiting for the right moment to.
I think that's what's going to happen, just like he did the last time. So,
Bruce Davis says it's up to Andy, the Royal Canadian Police. Go get him, Andy.
jeez.
There it is. John Ryder says drunk on Walking Street. We're all banned for 30 days. There it is. True story.
And I'm all for people getting their freak on and whatever partying they got to do in Pattaya and Thailand. Any of those areas like guys come to do, and Walking Street and all that. And I'm sorry, again, I believe it or not, I honestly believe in people definitely minding their own business when it comes down to that type of stuff. But when you put it out in public, and when you make it that evident in public, so multiple channels, that these things are going on, they're going to come after you hard like anybody. He is still not a celebrity, but still a semi-celebrity, because he's a Canadian guy that's got how many viewerships now? 40,000? I don't know. I haven't looked at his numbers. But it's still enough of a YouTuber that I've even seen several Filipino girls do shorts and videos out of meeting with them, and how, oh, Scotty boy, this and all that. Kind of odd for me, but he's still become his own little celebrity. And so now people are going to watch him. And then this is all just going to, it's, who knows? We've
Right.
said it before. If it wasn't for Scotty's money, I would suggest that he get out of the game. I mean,
Yeah, and again, there's a lot of comments about regular guy with underage Filipinas. I'm not gonna put those up because they're a little rough. But Steven says, "Hey Andy Omar, if you read this, thank you for your videos. Regular guy needs to be exposed." Um, Robert W says, I've never seen anything wrong with his content other than he talks too much and is a little redundant.
I hear you. It's hard. It's not as easy. It's easier to say, easier said than done. They say the same about us, and I get that we do, but we're mostly doing lives right now, very, very unscripted. Sometimes I think it'd be better to be scripted, but
Um,
uh, you know,
Topic was mongering and prostitutes. Regular guy and shifts to overstating in Armstrong. Looking at the comments, no one cares about Armstrong. Actually, I disagree with you. Otherwise, I won't be reading them.
yeah.
Um,
The reason it came up is because we were talking about blacklisting and deportation reasons. So that's how come Armstrong came back up. So, nope, just a side comment there. So, LG.
yeah, no, we don't have Starlink, nor do we need it.
We don't need it in the city. So,
And honestly, you can't get Starlink in a lot of areas in the Philippines.
yeah, there's a guy right now. I think he's actually somewhere in this area, San Fernando, or I forgot where it is. I can't state where it was because he was just on the expat group saying that his address isn't coming up. If it's not coming up, then it must not be available, possibly. Yeah.
So when he says, I believe he's talking about Armstrong. So smart building, but so uninformed in Philippine law.
What was the other one?
Oh,
Hector a minute ago.
oh no, I read that earlier. Hector says,
Oh, I missed
a
that.
board of commissioners decides Bureau of Immigration cases.
Right, there was another one where he just mentioned a expat and immigration. Yeah, right there.
Oh, have you
That's the
heard of
one.
an American of non-payment child support in the U.S.? Now, okay, this is not new. Can America extradite you for child support? Yes.
They are starting to now.
Yes. Well, they have been. They have been. However, I believe they dropped down their. Back then, they has to be in
A large amount.
an insane amount. Now, you told me it was like, I don't know, some.
Couple thousand US would be enough.
Well, see, a couple thousand back then, they won't extradite if it's a couple thousand. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no, a couple thousand.
we don't know of anybody in
just
particular.
means
Now,
they're
have
gonna.
we
Yeah.
heard there are several that do owe? We can't confirm that it was never ever paid. There are two names that come to my mind, Geo, and the other one would be Tim K. So I don't know whether those were all paid up or whether, those are the ones that are in the realm of the vloggers that I know about. So
Yeah, they've always.
but
Yeah.
we can't sit there and say, oh, they definitely owe it, blah blah blah. They've just been mentioned in the past.
No, they have extradition laws about unpaid child support. They've always had it. While I was in the U.S., I've not heard of, actually read it on the news twice that they extradited two Americans from the Philippines to the U.S. However, be aware, this is me not even looking for the news. What I'm saying is, if I were active enough to look for deported people from the Philippines to the U.S., I would probably have more information. But what I'm saying is, me just going my very busy days, I still came across two news articles stating that this happened. So it's not new. Um, Bureau of Immigration is scrutinizing more people now than ever since the Mark Tharin situation has put foreigners in all
I
the
I
limelight.
think the last few years, several of them have
Yeah,
put him, and I don't
again,
think
Mark Mark
he's
Thornton
like George said,
is
he's not that
not
important.
that
He
important.
is, but not.
I'm not that important. Heidi's not that important. Mark Thornton's
You
not
know
that
what
important.
probably will start putting him on notice is that actress that just had her boyfriend deported based on
See,
him
now
working.
now
That
that's
will do
different.
it.
Now O'Connor and Pokwang, that's a different story.
Ta-da.
Okay, that's that, and they're not that important, but they're high profile.
Yes.
Yeah, big difference.
Mean, you're talking about people with 100,000 or less. That's still not exactly, like I said, the top 7,000 vloggers. Only one was actually mentioned, and that was Kulos, and he's an actual citizen.
Hey, Red
And
Motorcycle.
Feeder, and he is Filipino.
Yeah, long
I think
time no
he's
see.
French
My
and
favorite public
Filipino.
access show.
It's PBS.
Bruce Davis, my mic's messed up, so I guess we can't come on. John Ryder says Armstrong had zero skills. Well, that alone will tell you that, again, some of you believe he's skilled, some of you don't.
And I sent Bruce a message on that. I think that was him responding
Oh,
to
okay,
people.
okay.
So we just have to on the mic situation. Last time I couldn't hear it all. That's why we weren't responding. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to stick with if the audio is way off, we cannot have guests, and we'll be opening this up here in a minute.
Um, Loving the Philippines says Brian does vlogs. New name. Brian wrote vlogs. He's
That's
collecting
him.
donations and
Yes,
surviving
that's him.
without from that as a broke young foreigner. Ex-girlfriend very ill and perhaps died yesterday. Good one for Andy.
Interesting. So he's been on our semi radar, so we know who he is. Yes, that is the one we're talking about. We're talking about the ones where they've been showing that she's been sick the whole time. But it kind of looked pretty legit for a while, but we stopped watching them because unlike what some people say, this couple is really heavy on asking for money. Like the entire show, they're like, please help us. We need help. And the guy comes up in the camera and says, every day she's sick and we don't know how we're going to survive and pay the bills. And we really need money. I was like, damn, it's just kind of all out there. So we get it. I mean, like the whole thing almost. So no, that's, you know.
Yeah.
Anything specific? I mean, I can see it to some extent, but it's no, I'm aware of that. But if he's saying that she doesn't even have cancer on top of that, it would be really. And they came here young with no backups at all, so they knew when they left their area that they were so. Which is
Actually,
a deportable offense if he's still here. I know it showed him. Was he the one that also showed himself homeless in the U.S.? Remember, I told you he went back to the U.S. So it even showed at one point he
he-
had returned and then came back
how he
again. So
did
I
the
have to
homeless
take a look.
bit.
Yeah, he said he showed himself homeless in the US.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a lot going on in that channel. So that might be one we take a look at.
Yeah. Obviously, I can't pronounce your name. Don't count on it. Donna's getting mad. My wife is friends with her as I am.
There's a lot of Filipinos
They're
that
talking
resonate.
about again if Donna is gonna revoke Richard Armstrong's visa.
Well, she's a better person than I am. Um, because here's the thing, Filipinas and Filipinos, it does take a lot usually to upset them. There are some that just pop off like that. I'll let you know that. But as far as her, if any of those rumors are true, and the things and the reasons why they separated and all that, if any of that has any truth, then I'm really surprised that she hasn't. But she is trying to take the higher road. I can see that. If everything that I've been discussing the last few days out of her section, out of the neighbors and all the other things, if any of that is true, including his flight here and how they got together, and I mean, takes a strong person. That would make her a strong person,
Yes.
that she took the higher road, because there'd only be so much that I would have taken, and she seems to move on. So, that's just. But add on top of it, she's Filipina, and
Well,
she's just
actually,
not
that's one of the
gonna.
first things I question. Is like, wow, that's really bigger for
It
her not
is.
to revoke his K1 visa. Honestly, I did. I was like, what's stopping her?
Well, it's not. You keep saying K1. I don't think that's what they call it, is it?
I mean,
13M.
13 A's. I don't know why I keep saying K1. Yeah, no, I meant 13. I don't know why K1. Big and girl, I'm gonna berate and praise you for this. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
Oh,
Love to watch you both together. Thanks for sharing.
oh.
Now the berating. Now you made me miss bacon.
It's Richard's bacon.
I mean, I love bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon?
If you gave George a chance, it'd be bacon, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or tocino and
If
rice, bacon and
yes,
rice.
if you don't love bacon, you should be deported.
They should put that on the list. I agree.
Correct. It should be on the list. If you hate bacon, you must be deported.
I tell you what, I mean, I gave up. I changed my lifestyle on like what I was eating. Like, so I don't do the carbs, the rice. I only did the noodles. So I still let things come in. Like when we went out, how long has that been? About 2 months ago. But anyways, I cut on the sugar. But if I had to give up on bacon, that would be it, babe. George would probably leave me if I didn't cook him some bacon every now and then. So
Right.
bacon is still on the plate.
Got next A says regular guy needs to be on GTA 6, as they say in GTA. Wasted.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Uh,
Mr. McLevin says, "Yeah, let's get regular guy on." MF says, "Whoever attacks regular guy is jealous of his success."
well, he's more than welcome to come on here. Like I said, we'll open up the room. George said hold for a little bit, and we're going through the comments first, but we'll open up. If he's got a link right now. So that way, if he wants to come on in advance, I haven't checked the emails, but he was offered the last
Well,
time
he
and we haven't
probably
heard.
won't for one.
Probably not until I think he's
Well,
waiting another week or
well,
two
not to
before
mention he's
he's
probably
stating that
busy. I mean,
he could still be asleep.
that too. John Ryder
It's
says,
a quarter to 11, guys. I doubt he might be asleep.
"Yeah." Um, I was gonna make a joke, but somebody might yell at me. Anyway, John Ryder, I was blocked my first comment about his skill.
It would be held. We have several moderators, and there is a list of words that YouTube doesn't let go through, and it could be one of the words. So it depends on what you
Well, I
said.
think he's saying on his channel. I think I'm not sure because he's talking about Armstrong.
Oh, I was blocked first comment about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think on his channel.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm guessing here.
Oh, just
Art and Donna, amazing journey. Hey, in the house.
when was that?
Mm,
Did you? Or okay, that must have been because I thought we've gone through their comments.
yeah, no, that's what I said. I think it's something about when he said, "Hey, you know."
No, I was talking about the Donna comment. I thought we've.
Filipino Delight says, "Yes, it's true on the law. We have nothing but allegations. Where's a Filipino victim? That's what they want to hear, not a bunch of chismes all over YouTube." Okay, now Filipino Delight again. There's another thing you're saying. Yes, it's true, but when you say you, who are you talking about? Are you talking about us or somebody else? I don't think it's us because honestly, we haven't said anything.
She could be, or
Right. I
he
think
could be
she's talking about,
addressing,
or yeah,
because we've been saying that it's been coming from comments,
right,
emails, other channels, and so
correct.
we're saying what could happen for sure. So it must be addressing the
Well, that's what
entire
I
thing.
said, guys. When you make a comment that addresses somebody, make sure you put who you're addressing to.
Well, I can tell you why.
Bob Tweed says 13A marriage visa. He said himself divorces you anyway. She will not have to report him. No marriage. Well,
Yeah, but that's what he was on. So he already said he was on a 13A. So he's not applying for one. Allegedly, according to what they talked about, he's been on a 13A. So
now John, I have no. Okay, John. I mean this with utmost respect. I have no clue what planet you're in, because this is not personal. It's just weird that you would make this statement. 90% of vloggers have no skills. That's like saying 90% of people have no skills. Every vlogger is a person in different countries in all parts of the world. Where do you come up with 90% of vloggers have no skills? Dude,
I mean, I would
most
say
of the
be more
vloggers I
specific.
know are nurses, doctors, you name it, engineers.
There are YouTubers that actually have
Where do you
license
come up with this?
attached. Okay,
I mean,
would.
yeah,
That's just to.
it's
That was just a statement to.
well, I mean, I think you mean that particular person, but it's just weird. It's just really weird. Mr. McLovin says, yeah, they'll see. I know. It's okay. Mr. McLovin is agreeing with you that 90% of vloggers. Okay, so apparently, guys, Mr. McLovin and John, go on YouTube and watch other vloggers, please, because obviously you guys don't watch enough. Pablo Chicano, no doubt they're jealous. He's referring to the ones attacking our regular guy.
That's an hour and 15 behind. So
Okay,
no, I'm just saying.
that's what that's for.
No, I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Armstrong case, remedial law would take place first, hence the commission has to say on status. This is why regulators are in place to help the courts not get clogged. That makes sense. Kenny and Civic says that's how Zoom World started. AZ Camera says at least Scotty makes original, interesting content instead of gossiping about others for a living.
Funny you would say that. So that seems to be a direct stab at us. And if you would look at our other content, don't even have to say that. So his original content. So
Okay.
he's not exactly original. Okay. And we have original content, and this live stream is an original content. So you must have been one of those that left a message the other day about us not being original, just gossipers. Okay. But this live stream's original. You're not going to find nobody like me and George. That is for sure. So that actually does a lot of live streams. We have an expat help section. We have videos of ourselves. We have tons of other content. So go ahead and prove that this is just gossip. So
Yeah, there's no evidence against just allegations. A smear campaign against regular guy. They say they have evidence but never show it. Naomi says sexpats get out of the Philippines. Now, Pablo Chicano says this is how he makes money. LG says regular guy is all about clickbait, and there's no way he's looking for a girlfriend. His channel will die if he stays in
that's
one
probably
place.
true also.
That's probably there's probably a lot of
I
truth to
think
that
he's
one.
using the dating site myself just to actually go meet up with the young girls to show them off, which actually is getting him paid, which is not exactly right either. But there are participating people out there, and evidently they are because they give him his address and they go out there. And I've seen family members too. So it's kind of crazy. There's
Yeah.
been a ton of vloggers that have covered him, including Old Dog. So a lot of them have done interviews with him and knows what his channel's about. And
Living the life says Andy needs to talk to regular guy ASAP. John says I can't get into regular guy channel. He talks too much and says little. Again, it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not everybody's cup of tea. Oh, hey, Cody Williams. I haven't seen you in a while. I've been out of the loop. I don't watch much in the last year. Regular guy seems like a harmless, even if odd guy. Aside from just videos speak of, just a witch hunt. Overreaction?
the way that we've heard, that's what I was asking George, that whether we would say it's a witch hunt or not. Some have. We're not the first to say that. That's what I was going to say earlier. Is there have been several that says this is a witch hunt, this is a witch hunt, and so I didn't know whether we could even use that word or not.
No, there's nothing wrong with the word witch hunt. Problem with a witch hunt, you always find a witch. M. Doggy says Charles Barkley never holds back.
We don't know a whole lot about JLB, but further down, someone brings in JLB, which I see Gypsy in the house. Do we have GoGo in the house? Because we know that's all. There's Gypsy. All right. They just said if you don't agree with that group, let's see, where was that? It looks like it got held because of the cuss word, which won't be released. You have to 100% agree with JLB or you're absolutely gone. They're thin-skinned. BIT is what they said further down. We know little to nothing about that group.
Yes.
So
Steven says when it rains, it pours for these foreigners acting like fools. Mr. McLevin says, yeah, about 50% of the people here like regular guy. And also
I'd
on the
probably
same
say
note,
50-50.
50% of the people don't like the regular guy.
Yeah. So I'm starting to feel it's a 50-50 right now. Yeah, we just know that GoGo, Gypsy, some of these other people have been on some of the other channels. Yep, there's GoGo.
Well,
I
John,
was looking for GoGo.
actually, Philippines is technically supposed to collect taxes of vloggers.
Supposed to.
Again, the key word is the Bureau of the BIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue, gave me a piece of paper because I'm a vlogger, and they stated any resident of the Philippines must pay
And
taxes
register as a business.
the moment you get your ACRI card. you
and you make
become
any
a
money,
resident.
you can YouTube, but the moment it turns into money, you're selling T-shirts, you're doing other
Right.
things, then you're supposed to pay the proper taxes. And this is, I believe, they said that this is, so we're not going to get into all that
Yeah,
tax
and so
stuff, but technically
the law
you
isn't
are.
in place, and again, they're going the first top 250 bloggers of the Philippines, and guess what? Nobody you know is on that list. I don't even think Kulas is in the top 250.
Well, he was given an award based on the top 50 or
Okay, well
something,
then maybe
but
he's the only one,
I'm
but
sure
the
he's
rest.
registered to pay.
Oh yeah, yeah, he
I mean, he
definitely
has
no
to
he.
now that he's a
Well,
citizen.
we believe Kulas actually works for the Philippine government. Not government, tourism, Philippine tourism.
Well, he lives here now, so he
Yeah.
can't be
So
paying back
no, I
to.
mean, there's more to it. Yeah. Um. MF says, "You mess with a regular guy, you mess with me. You have no idea what I'm capable of." Okay, well,
I mean, I'd go through some. We're just going through the comments.
Mundo ng Hiwaga, Tagalog fairy tales.
Different.
Huh. Um, world. What's that? World of. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out your name because I thought Hiwaga means fairy.
And
So
then they put it on the end. So basically, they put it and then
so
put it in
maybe
English.
it's Tagalog fairy tales, I think, but it's. Yeah, I was sorry. It just my problem with regular guy is how he exploits and touches minors. That's not normal behavior for a grown man. Thor says, "Just leave Richard alone." Um, John says Richard can't even pick up a tool. Edward John Lipiet says any raid on Walking Street is someone not paying off the right people. No, John, no. She said she hired a civil engineer to replace
Yeah.
Richard. No. We're not calling Richard a civil engineer.
She
She
said she
hired.
hired. Maybe he's calling BS on her hiring one. Is maybe she just said that to get at him.
I wouldn't say that because again, engineers. You know how Philippine nurses are a dime a dozen. There's
The same with the engineers, and they would be
engineers.
cheap.
I can't tell you
So
how many engineers there are in just this apartment building. I can name of 3 right away without even asking around. Put it that
yeah,
way.
because there's a lot of.
So yeah. Um. Oh, Vicky Spaz. Actually, this is a valid question, somewhat off topic, but valid question. What's Heidi's favorite Filipino dish?
Lugao.
What?
Well, besides tocino and barbecue, I like anything barbecue
Well,
and
the
chicken,
tocino,
but
yeah.
the
That's tocino,
lugao
yeah.
soup.
Now the barbecue,
I mean, I still like pancit. That would be my other one. I mean,
right?
it's not exactly, um, but if I had to put an actual authentic dish, it would then I'd put it
Yeah.
there.
Now the barbecue, mind you, it's not the barbecue you guys are familiar with.
I mean, I used to eat a lot more of the sweets that they actually make here, but again, the sugar affects my lupus, and that's the first thing that packs on a ton of weight. So a lot of sweets. There's sugar in everything here, guys. Tons of sugar. So okay, well, just kind of go through them, and then we'll go ahead and put the.
Yeah.
We'll open up the chat. I was waiting to see if regular guy wanted to come in. I think he will make his statement down the road.
I don't know about that. Brian said he'll never go back to Tequila Reef, never
It's
again.
possible.
It's
I mean,
possible. Well, It's possible since he's moving out, but I mean, it's possible.
He should be getting pretty close to that, so I'm sure he's excited.
AAA says Scotty's innocent. He's just trying to find a wife that is exactly 18 years old. It's very easy accidentally to flirt a date with someone younger. Nothing wrong with that, right? Well, I really don't think he's looking for anybody right now, like LG said. LG made a good point.
It would kill
Um,
his channel. It didn't kill Geo's channel, but I think he did lose some people after that. The same with Rike. I still think people would still follow even if he did. I didn't see any decline in Rike's channel. I didn't see any in Geo's. Both those guys did that bachelor and the course things and bringing guys in based on. And I know his content kind of switched around, but I think his following, I think the algorithm got both their channels for a while. So did I mention that I did add the actual StreamYard if you guys want to join again?
no, guys, the chat is open up. You guys are welcome to join in. Andy says there's hundreds out there, motorcycle and travel vloggers. There aren't. They're filming kids.
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, we're just saying there are a ton of them out there for sure. But I am going to say on the other part, when he says that aren't filming kids, I just think there's a lot of kids in there, yes. But do you think it's intentional? I think he's putting a lot of young people in there, but I wouldn't say all of his vlogs are just filming kids.
No, they're not. Unlike okay, I'm scratching my head because there are some child diddler vloggers out there, and their videos are totally different. Totally different. Their vlogs are questionable, like very questionable. What I'm saying is, I mean, I'm trying to be impartial here, but what I'm saying is, it's hard to be impartial when there's guys. Obviously, you guys haven't really seen child diddler YouTubers out there. It's not even the same. It's not even comparable. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Earn Doggy says Thorin got the 86 award. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that in a while. Talk about 86.
Wow, MF really likes regular guy. That is for sure. Said he's the greatest person on earth. Well, I think, like I said, I wouldn't go that far. He knows that I've got issues on some of his footage because of the way he does present the women. That is for sure. I will say he focuses in on young people. I can't say how old they are, being everybody looks 10 years younger here. And I think it's ridiculous. But like I said, there's a lot of channels that I think are ridiculous. Filipinos or expats that are doing these channels.
Loving the Philippines. Armstrong for stars. Watch a video of their home project. You work all the time. When you lie, your credibility lessens fast.
Was that them responding to
Okay,
us?
again, when you address somebody, make sure you name who you're addressing to. We never said anything about Armstrong's skills because I even says I don't know. I don't know much about construction. I know engineering, yes, but I don't know construction. Different story. Civil engineering, mechanical engineering. Now, if we're talking about cars, planes, trains, and I see somebody working on it, I can tell you what's wrong. But when somebody's working in a house,
And the fact that his wife said that
you
she
know,
had to hire in an actual
yeah, yeah.
engineer. Yeah, we're not going to go through that with you loving the Phillies. So I'm assuming that is directed at us. When
Somebody
you lie,
else,
your
yeah,
credibility lessens
right.
fast. And honestly, I'm not worried about that. Where one drops off, another one will actually come in. That is for sure. What was that?
Oh, it's Andy.
Right, but what was I didn't see what it
Oh
was.
no, I think he's saying oh, okay.
Um,
Hey Andy, how you doing, man?
hey Andy. Yeah,
Good.
I'm not sure if I don't think he is. I think he's just American with a Hispanic descent.
Oh, okay.
I'll have to take a look at them again, but I seen them last year and I seen where he came back. And what caught my eyes, he came up in a circle, which means somebody else watched him in our group because that's how
Hmm.
they feed a lot of channels. And I watched him. It was almost a constant that she's got cancer and she's sick and we need help. And it was like super evident. It wasn't like slight by any slight means that it actually went down, but I haven't watched him in a long time either. So I know that he went back to the US, and but did somebody say he actually said his woman did pass away finally? I think that's what they were actually saying.
That's what they say.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's possible that she did pass away, but that's news to us.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. But like I said,
Hmm.
there's so
I
many
think that
things going on.
regardless, like, still doesn't give them the right to be coming here to, like, a developing country and start begging. Like,
Right.
that's a very interesting guy that you just mentioned, and that really piques my interest. Like, he actually uploaded a video a day ago, and he had 13,000 views and everything. So he's getting popular. So he used to have videos before, like uploaded videos, because I
Yeah,
only
let
see
me
two.
take a yeah, I seen him last year, so he must have took him down. Right. Let me take a look. Let me take a look.
Now, we watched those vlogs before, and again, it's
Well, what was the channel again? Because that
Ryan
last one.
does vlogs.
Okay, that's right.
Now, it's kind of one of those. Well, first off, it's not our cup of tea. Second off, you get a weird vibe out of it, and it's not something you can, not tangible. It's something like there's something off, but you can't put your finger on it. But
Okay,
Yes.
so that's not the same channel. So I'll have to do some searching because no,
Oh,
that's not the.
it's not
I think
the young guy? No?
it's him,
Okay.
but he's. I was thinking there was a second channel.
no, that's very
Okay, so
possible.
he
Yeah.
changed the name of
Well,
it
yes, he
recently.
renamed it. Yes,
That's
yes, yes,
why.
he
Okay, I
renamed it.
see where it
Yes, he
says
renamed
Brian
it.
and Rose Vlogs,
Yes,
but he's
he renamed it.
definitely. Let me
Yes,
take a look and see it
yeah. And
here.
actually, Heidi's the one that
He's removed
brought in
he's
the.
removed videos. He's definitely removed videos because he showed a homeless video back in the US, and I know you've seen that one
Yeah,
where he
no,
said that he
yeah,
had to go back to make some money and he ended up on the streets, and it showed him actually out on the street. So, and he's only got 2 in here right now. So that indicates to me that he's deleted a bunch of them for a reason. So, yeah, I only see 2. So he's removed them.
Yeah.
And he used to have her in them.
Oh, Thor does say that he is a great editor. He has another channel that has less than 3,000 subscribers.
Tara, which channel is that?
Yeah.
I'm really interested in this, actually.
Yeah, no, he's changed his vlogs. I don't even see where he's not even talking about her no more. She was in all of them. They used to be in a real nice place in Makati. Remember, it started out in Makati,
Yeah.
and they both were talking about they vlogging was their actual living. So no, I remember this one for sure. But there's only 2 of them in there. But when we seen this last year, we weren't covering a lot of, we were more into, hey, coming to the Philippine situation, this is our life. And we've kind of switched into a different realm now for good reasons.
Yeah. Hey, Addie from
Yeah.
Needed Squad. How you doing?
Hey, Addie.
Addie is in the house,
So
guys.
yeah, he's
He does have
definitely.
a Facebook page as well, Instagram, I see. It's very interesting. I just, you know what? Like, this is the thing that triggers me. Usually, like, I don't really find a lot of targets, but like guys like this do really, um because like they just come here and start begging. Like, couldn't you just go out and find a real job? Just like RG, and then there's other young guys out there, like, for me, I'm still working and doing stuff. Like, why can't they just, you know, they're still young and they can do things.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to see where here it said dumpster diving. Is it real? But I'm trying to figure out where he's at. That looks to be the US too, but no, there was a whole thing with him and a woman that he showed that said she was sick constantly and looks like he's removed him. But I'm sure enough can be found on him
I
though.
I think they broke up. It looks like they broke up. It says, "Why did you leave her?" I respond, "I didn't leave her." So she probably didn't die or something. They probably broke up.
Yeah.
Thor says, "Yeah, I got money, but fiance told me that he wasn't giving her any, and I had to send money to her more than once. April past April 20."
Then he says his GoFundMe account has frozen.
Wow.
Um, yeah,
And
that's
here's
crazy.
about cancer. He does have a short dealing where he's talking about cancer cure. I don't have the volume turned on, but he's
Wait,
got
they
some.
froze his GoFundMe? Hmm.
Yes. This was a comment. This was a post on March 17. Brian Rose blogs on Facebook.
No, it is, and he flat out said they didn't have jobs when they got here. So that's what we thought was funny. But like I said, when we seen him probably about a year ago, we were mostly just doing expat help. And like I said, now that the country's totally reopened and people start arriving and all this stuff, we kind of slowed down on all that because they're a dime to a dozen. I hate to say it, that's where it's at. So now we do lives. We do lives and just a few side things. But yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. This is really interesting to me. Like that's the kind of guys that I would latch on to. Guys that like come in here, they have the capacity to work and all that stuff. Um then
No, that's
out there
true.
just begging money. Just like Miles from Home. That's another one that I really am trying to find more information on.
Oh, the
Like
8 miles from home.
yeah, those fucking bums. Oh my god.
Well,
I
we watched some of their vlogs and we thought they were interesting, but what's interesting recently is she's back in the UK by herself now, and I haven't watched anything in the past couple months, but I asked Georgia, said, is she by herself? And he said, yes, she went back there
That's
by herself.
odd for a couple that works on YouTube without a physical job. And what I'm saying is, okay, is their job online? Yes, it's YouTube because they quit their jobs to work full time on YouTube. Their words, not mine.
Yeah,
And then, wait a minute. So half the family is going to the UK
without them,
without the
which is
guy.
part of their vlogging. Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
Yeah, who knows on that? We've watched a few of them where they've said some odd stuff about pricing and cost, and they tried to say they were living on
Yeah. Now,
$50 a week on food when they're vegan, and I was like, yeah, vegetables cost that much a week, so it's
yeah,
it's
eight
some of
miles
their
from
stuff's
home.
been
We
off.
watched them from the get go. 8 miles is again from when they moved out. There were literally 8 miles from home. That's where the title comes from. And they have their daughter story, cute little girl.
Hmm.
Actually, she grew up now.
Yeah, she's grown up.
Yeah, but they have questionable vlogs when it comes to pricing. For those of you guys who want to go to Surigao, I wouldn't bank on their pricings. Um,
Yeah,
again,
yeah. Somebody asked further down about can expats work legally in the Philippines? If they have the right paperwork and permits that
SRRV,
come along with it,
13A,
but they're
SWP,
trying to push through that nomad visa, which will help eliminate
which isn't
some.
here yet. It's here, but
They haven't put it together, but will require things like insurance. It's going to require a certain amount to be made each month. It's going to be online working. So, and you have to provide the company that you're going to be working for. I don't know how that would work for YouTubers. It's kind of a different thing, but I think they will start coming down on people and they're watching more people now. That I am sure of. That I'm 100% sure of I think they're incidents like the fights and stuff that go on Walking Street, fights going on in Dumageddon, vloggers doing more and more outrageous things. um I think they're just gonna crack down.
Yeah, so I guess that's the one thing that one guy, the Brian Rose blogs, because like his latest video was about, kind of like Dances with Wolves, like the old movie. He's
Hmm.
like, now I am in their land, and now I am one of them. I am one with them. It's like,
Right.
what a
Another
crock of
one.
shit.
Man,
Another one.
man called horse. There you go. Sora Let's Allender says he is in a spot in now. That my friend in April. She said
Yes.
that my friend April says she passed away April 20th.
Mm.
Huh?
Oh, was it for that the real cancer?
Yeah.
But
Thor
supposedly
says
Tara said that she got the money,
the
or
GoFundMe
she
is still
didn't.
active. You can still donate.
But she's dead already, so
Mm,
Interesting.
interesting.
that means that the money
Interesting.
still didn't even go to her, regardless.
Yeah. Ugly Church. We're talking right now. We're
No,
talking about.
because there it is. It says in there, yeah. Um, he still got it in the video from 5 months ago. Did you see the description? I'm trying to save my fiance, April Rose. Like I said, they said this from day one. They've been saying that, and you, our YouTuber subscribers, are motivated us to start a fundraiser to help save April's life. And I remember he used to show her how she was losing weight, and they were always talking about her cancer. But it says here, I am a Filipina. I am cancer stage 4 fighter, a mother of 2 children, and I feel in my heart I can survive. And believe me, they said all this. They said all this all the time. So it just wasn't where it's in here. They were saying this out loud all the time. And she said, my fiance, Brian, trusting God as well, as I am not an ordinary woman. I am in a situation of my life where I wish to get treated, but money is limited. So, yeah, so that's what was, as I'm to understand, I don't even know if she actually is, I think she was born in the US. I could be wrong on that. I don't even think she's even, I think she's a
Phil-Am.
possibly something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
To worsen the situation, then it goes on about the ER. So all this stuff is in here, but he's left this up in that video a few months ago. So I didn't look to see if it's in the new one, but you would think he would remove it if she did.
Yeah. Thora says we're trying to find ways to deport him. Sorry.
I was
Nice.
current.
I hope Tara can log into my channel and then make a comment on how I can contact her. Maybe
Right.
she has more information. I am really interested in this. Like, this is really interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's been kind of questionable from, like I said, but not for obvious reasons. It's one of those, like I said, it's like,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
seeing
and
that
then at the
video,
top
I'm
it
stuck in
says
the Philippines.
update. We're not accepting. So at the very top it says we are not together. We are no longer together is what it says. It doesn't say anything
Hmm.
about that she passed away. So which is
Yep.
it? We are no longer together. I'm not accepting.
Yeah, since
But
March.
if you,
So if the link is still up or something like that, yeah, there must be something going on. They got to merch everything, and he's on I guess, on a tourist visa, and that is gonna get him big time. Spread shop. This is interesting. This is the first time I actually hear from you guys, like right now, like 20
yeah.
minutes, like 30 minutes ago. So this is pretty interesting. Like, there are tons of bloggers out there that it's hard to cover, or I wouldn't even know. I think I told you guys, I messaged you guys about this certain blogger in Angeles City. The reason why I wouldn't go on him,
yeah.
because he does cover certain kids who are supplied by.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that I understand. So yeah.
Well, now the thing is, let's say, for example, if I were him, I'm not saying this is what he should do. That's not what I'm saying.
And that's gotta be how he gets away with
What
it.
I'm saying is, if I were him, and let's say Heidi is Rose, and she's the one with 2 kids. If I were him, if Rose passes away, because honestly I've seen this with other vloggers, and the woman passed away, she leaves kids behind, because they're obviously I watch other vloggers too, and this happens. It happens because I mean it's life. The wife passed away young, and then the common thing that they do is they show the funeral, they show the service, and
Exactly.
then they are really sad.
Hey,
It's not
You know Axicorp,
yeah,
don't
it's
you?
been a while. Yeah. So and then it's not that they drag out the mourning process, but they show you the mourning process, and they're gonna show the kids. Here's the kids. They're really
Yeah.
sad. They show the family, and it's not because they're dragging it, because they want to share with you guys. Let's say if Heidi passed away, I'm gonna be broken. I'm gonna make a few vlogs about him, like Heidi's not here anymore, and you know I'll be really distraught. I'll make distraught videos, only not because I'm milking it, it's because I'm distraught. I need to vent. I need to vent out my frustration, anger, pain, sorrow.
I want you to milk it, babe. Do it real good.
Yeah,
Do me real good.
exactly. Exactly.
Right.
No, no. In again, I've seen other vloggers, and again, obviously, I watch other vloggers, and I even tell, I said, oh my god, she's dead, she's dead, and babe, watch this, and then and even Heidi's like, who's that? But point being is, it happens, and they show the mourning process. So
Yeah, he's come through and said thank you and God bless you and karma for all the slime spitters out there, he said, which was a day ago. He put at Journey Life and then at somebody else. So he was addressing like two of the people. And then he made a comment about what's the new strategy. I don't wish you bad, but at least some karma for judging people wrongfully. He responded to somebody a day ago. Yeah, but from the get go, like I said, I get some level because you put time into YouTube and all of that, but this guy caught our eye last year because of the way that he said things. Like it was kind of
right,
it was the way that he did it from the get go. And they were up in Makati, and I'm like, who's going to give money to somebody saying that they need treatment when they're up in Makati talking about their lifestyle? Remember all the fancy stuff they had in the background? The place was really nice, and I thought it was really odd. So that's kind of where it went. But
yeah, no, no, no. Heidi did bring up the
yeah,
video.
because she had like
She was like, what do you think of
expensive
this?
gear, and yeah, I mentioned it. But like I said, at the time, we weren't really covering expats and getting more into that because it was more of putting out laws, different things going on, travel, any updates that came up. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of dead in the water right now. So
Yeah, it's like what our coffee cup says. It's kind of sus.
sus.
No, really, our coffee cups on the bottom says
Sus 304,
it
it
does.
says.
I'm not
SUS
making this up.
304.
It's metal stem. It says sus 304 on the bottom of our coffee cups. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's these right here we're drinking out.
Yeah,
George goes,
it's
"You
these
can't believe
it's
it."
these coffee mugs on the very, not this bottom, the inside bottom. It says sus 304. Not, can't make that up. For Joe Potato says 8 miles from reality.
So did they really have did she really have cancer and went through chemo? Like did they show her with bald hair or anything like that? Like I could see a wig, but I could never see her bald or anything like that.
The time that we seen her, we didn't see that.
Yeah, he would have posted that, like, oh look at her, like her hair is going, like some dramatic music and her hair is like, oh honey, my
It was a
it's in the
lot of
shower.
religious, it was more of them talking in a religious way and how they're going to stay positive, and they were doing all that uplifting stuff. And I get it. I get it. So, and that's another thing people got to understand what you actually cover. Even if you have the facts, you just got to watch, I mean, you start covering somebody who has cancer, then all of a sudden, someone's throwing a rock at you in public situation. It's, so we also found it to be super sensitive, and they were new on the scene. So
Right, right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like pick and choose your battle at that situation.
Now, Salem the Realtor says 8 miles Egyptian guy deprives his daughter to experience proper life in UK. This is what irks me. Well, I wouldn't say that because they're not in UK. So, but I don't see her growing up like a normal child. Meaning, I don't see her running around with neighbors and stuff like that. Like a normal kid.
I think
Yeah,
the
that's
kids
kind of
that grow
sad.
up on YouTube is pretty bad. I just seen
That's
a
it right
couple of them.
there.
There's a
YouTube kid.
there's a couple of them in BGC and Makati recently, and they just opened up a channel for their 12 or 13-year-old, and I was like, well, is that even legal? And then it was like I looked it up, and yes, I guess at 13, if that's how old he is, he's allowed to run that channel, of course, with his parents, and they're the ones that are going to get paid. And then there's laws on that, but a lot of them here lately are using their children, whether they're Filipino, American, Canadians, or whatever, they're using their kids as the prime thing. And that was like that couple in the United States. Turns out they were locking him in the house, keeping him out of school. Like she was hitting him on air, everything else on her YouTube. And I was like, holy snikes. And that was the biggest example that I've been using lately. But it's just getting to be more and more of them are. And I just feel sorry for her. They just showed these kids on air that are, they're giving them, they're like 10, 11, and 12, and talking about feeding the pedos out there. They're letting their kids go on and show products and stuff. They're like 9 years old, 10 years old, and they sit in front of the camera every day or live streams, and they're doing this stuff. And I'm like, and then somebody created products for them to do it. The mother did a whole product line. It was just in the news. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So it's just they're using the kids for social media now. And
Yeah,
I'm
like a
just,
great example, it's Ahern's, how that one girl, she was like 15 and introduced to YouTube. She got pregnant
mhm.
underage, I guess.
Yeah, she's
And then
17. Yeah. Erica
and
Ahern.
and then she's like doing sexy photos and stuff, and there's a lot of crazy people out there,
Yeah. They've been
gawking
showing
at
her.
it. And then all the kids now have blogs and Facebook pages. I'm like,
Right.
yeah,
The
that's some
daughter. Yeah.
way too
There's
much.
the other one, the one that's actually, because Erica is not his. So, but
Hmm.
the other children that are, the one now is 13 or 14 or something, and they have her into modeling, her own page. Now she's got her own, and it's yeah, which again just puts them out to other people. That's it's kind of crazy.
Now, the regular eye video again may attract unwanted attention, not because of what you think. Like LG says, Philly Sports Bar is attracting a lot of undesirables. I used to walk by there every day. There may be a crackdown on freelancers standing at the rails.
I'd be interested if they start doing that to different
Yeah,
bars.
like
I
they
mean, I
won't.
just don't think they won't. They say they will, but I mean, it's crazy because it's just not the freelancers, it's a bunch of people that are selling things. You'll see them come with the whole entire family walking by, and I'm like, it's like, George, is that them with their family going by? And George's like, yep. And so, but yeah,
Yeah, there's
they
some
were trying
people
to
who walk
sell,
around.
yeah, they were trying to sell us crabs when we were down there the last time. And I'm like, yeah, what am I supposed to do with these
They
crabs?
sell you everything when you're at Walking Street.
It's like,
When you sit
I
on
don't need
the
crabs on Walking Street.
when you sit on a perch. A perch is when you sit right by
I'll ship them to you,
the
Andy.
sidewalk.
No
Yeah,
thanks.
right. There you go. Andy, do you want to answer questions made? Paul made a question towards you, and
Mm-hmm.
um, did you
Let's
want
see.
to answer that
Yeah,
one?
no, yeah.
Where is it now? Paul, Andy Omar, why do you dislike regular guys? Sum it up in one sentence.
Well, at first of all, in one sentence, damn, that's
Yeah, I know, right?
it's
One
this is
sentence.
a
I know.
long.
I know.
You know what? Like before I answer that, I'll just say the story that before I used to find him creepy and all that stuff.
Okay.
But there used to be a lot of people
I
talking
did think
about
of
him for such a long time, and I kept um laying down the situation. I kept like, oh yeah, 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 he's creepy, but he didn't, I don't think there's anything to it. So I've been doing this, like he's been doing YouTube for a long time, and people have been calling him out on my live streams, but I have
yeah.
never really done anything until now. So, and a lot of people are saying now you're doing it, like some people criticize me because I am doing it now and what I could have done it before. But before there wasn't a lot of proof that they're showing now. And okay, why it's not that I don't dislike him. I actually think he's a very good looking dude. I think that he has the charisma. I think he has the YouTube spunk. He
Mhm.
has like the qualities to be a great YouTuber. I would say that. But I do not like him because of the filming of kids and the editing of kids. I understand that you can go around, film, cool. And there's kids, okay, sure. But when you're out there in your room, go back, edit look for the, out of like of an hour feature of an hour long thing, you trying to find the specific kid that you looked at in your mind, and then you put the zooming in, and then the slow down,
Mhm.
and then you make a comment out of it. I think that's a little bit too much effort. It takes a lot of effort to edit. Like it for me,
Yeah,
it takes a
no.
while to edit these videos. So imagine him doing this, like you know, like anybody who edits, it's a lot of work. So you would see it. That's the reason why. Why does he specifically have to edit that? Like, there's adults out there. Like the interesting part about this is that he's an interesting guy, and he can get any women he likes. Like I could just say that because he's a young foreigner. He's not a bad looking dude. So why doesn't using his looks and his personality and charisma? Can't he just go with somebody cover the older ladies?
Yeah. I think
That's
it's
the thing.
kind of creepy on the age, like what he's looking for, an 18 to 23-year-old. It's kind of, and then he keeps meeting up with them and stuff and says that he's actually meeting up with them.
Exactly.
So that myself, but like I said, what I keep coming back around to, so does a lot of these other married guys that's got women under a certain age and stuff. But I think for most it's because of the ages and their maturity levels, and then he's doing it further out in the provinces, and he's going further out to search some of them out. Yes, you know. What do you think of that? That he does do that further out here?
Well, mm,
Yeah.
kind of.
I mean, no, I'm just asking him. I'm not. I mean, how do you feel about him setting up the dating sites to go meet these women, and then he vlogs them when he arrives and everything? You think they're aware of that? You don't think that's odd?
The problem I see with regular guy, he vlogs about stuff that should not be vlogged, and I don't mean that in a sense that, oh, he's a pioneer. It's more in the sense that you probably shouldn't vlog about it. You know what I'm saying? Kind
Yeah,
of like
because yeah, we're getting
him
messages about
proper,
that.
with him and the working ladies, as it were. Um, I don't think that should be on video. You know what I'm saying?
There's
Same.
Mhm.
there's a comment there by Cody Williams. This guy with glasses is the guy who wants power of authority over Filipinas he can date or whatever. This is the thing. Even somebody like I'm gonna spill the beans and say even somebody like Philly, who goes around and films in Fields Avenue, the
Mhm.
women that he films, he showed me videos where they actually consent to being filmed and
Right.
recorded, but he doesn't show it for legal reasons.
Right. Yes,
So
exactly.
that's why I don't go after Philly or guys like that because they have videos and proof that they consent to this. So if somebody like Philly can get videos like this, I'm sure a regular guy out in the boonies where there is very little to no people around, he can get the same thing. You know, out there meeting women and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they're 18 and whatever. I don't think there's nothing wrong. But the blogging, yeah,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah. There's a fine line between content and tasteless kind of deal. Our A says regular guys looking at and zooming in on young girls to troll people and for his subscribers. I'm sure he secretly hates it. Hates doing it.
I hope so. I honestly hope so.
I didn't get your last name.
Anyways, I gotta head out. I was just only interested about the Brian's does blogs things. Anyways, thanks for
All
having me.
right, thanks, Andy. Appreciate
Yeah.
it, man.
All right.
All right, thanks, Andy. You didn't catch her last name further up. I missed what the last name was.
Yeah, no.
I will catch it. So
I think I said he means Brian. Brian does the same things for clicks. Regular guy does it for the same reason. Regular guy knows he doesn't get views if he does that with. Oh well, I didn't read the last part. Um, no, most for the most part, most vloggers do certain things for their viewers. They're catering to their audience.
Well, yeah, some of them. I see some of them that just do lady boys down there. There are other Filipinos that interview people that are just lady boys, or there's been a variety of the people that have actually covered. Yeah.
Right. Also be aware too, guys, again, regardless of your sexuality, it's never cool to use,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
you can't say, "Oh, he's that type of person," and that type of person in a derogatory sense. Because remember, we're all equal here,
Yeah.
regardless of your sexual preference or anything. You know, well, I'm
Well, and also it should be made clear that filming here in the Philippines is a super sensitive thing. Although you see a bunch of them getting away with it, they're getting paid for it. It doesn't mean that it's right, and you could be their next example for sure. So just letting you know that.
Hector Gubat. Who's that? What about the family lugging a speaker and electric guitar and singing for coins?
Is it an expat family, Filipino family?
Who's
There's,
that?
oh, babe, there's a lot of them up and down on the streets, but are they talking about a Filipino or?
Right. Well, I even know what busking is, but I mean,
Well, there's a couple homeless American expats, and that is a deportable offense, just like the one that the senator just helped recently. He was behind by 7 years. According to them, that's a 5-year ban out of the Philippines at this point. So we said he's lucky that he went on the show, and um, that was the guy previous to the empanada. They all needed help with their immigration. They were behind. And so when you see the ones that are on the street, like there's a guy down there in Angel City. There were two. There's one that's I think one was the German guy, and then the other one, I forgot where he was from, but he's down there busking on Walking Street. And I think this past October he was arguing with somebody over a spot. It was another Filipino down there. And he's does an actual YouTube and Facebook stuff too, and all of that is deportable offenses by and then blacklisted afterwards. So, yeah. But yeah, recording Filipinos, it's just a matter of whether they're going to report it. It's a matter of how you presented it and what office you report it to for sure. So we tell people there's so many vloggers coming here from other countries, and then they apply their mentality to the recording, and it could get you in trouble.
AJ says this is
Hey,
directed
AJ.
at us. Over 18 is legal, but underage minors is illegal. That's what he's focused on with his zooming. Well, yes, we're aware of that. Now, some of them are minors, some of them are not. Most of them are not actually. But again,
We have to stick with what the basics are all the way through, is that and I think even Andy said that no, they cannot prove what age they all are.
right.
So we have to stick with that like glue inside and out. They appear young, yes,
And
which is actually wrong, which could bring or draw in other unwanted desirable people.
yeah, and then there's still legalities involved, meaning, for example, is it illegal? Somewhat. Like, for instance, the parent says, "That's my child. I don't want her on video or him on video," and then they contact our guy. You need to take down the video, and then yada yada yada. That happens, and for us, we've edited out videos like after videos released, like, "Hey, I'm on one of your videos," that kind of stuff. There are some YouTube etiquette, yada yada yada, legalities, so on and so forth. It's not cut and dry. It's like, this, minor this, minor that, done. No, that's not how it works. Now, Paul, I have no clue what you're getting at. Which part of bashing are we talking about here? Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean,
Used
really,
to be good.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we have only gotten better. So I will stand by that. I was just
The
saying we're just
most
starting to
we've
come into our
said
own.
is sus, and their pricing is off.
Mm.
That's it, really. That's the only bashing statements we've said, and I put quotes on that because those are hardly even bashing.
That's the way he sees it. Same guy on one channel and then the next channel and
Mhm.
sways with the wind. The same one that's over on Mark Thornton's channel and then all these other channels that we discuss. And that's fine. That is definitely your opinion and your right to actually say. But we disagree because evidently the numbers aren't lying. So
And actually,
and
here,
we're organic. We just don't get numbers because we're catering and feeding the unwilling or the willing people that come here and feed off the bullshit that's being told out there and the smoke and the rainbows and everything else being blown up your ass by the other channels about how actually everything is. And we've been growing organic, or we would be sitting at 100,000 by now. If we were super sweet all the time and fed you guys every single little thing and showed you little TNA all the time and brought these women on and did all this stuff, our numbers would be up there, but we're not going to. And we will grow as we grow and say what our channel's going to say.
right. And regular guy is not a regular guy, first off. Somebody actually said somebody who names himself regular guy is not that. No, he's not. He's not your standard guy. And what I mean by that, he's actually very intelligent. He's very intelligent, he's very analytical. How would I know this? Actually, reading between the lines, you can tell from what he's saying. For instance, he built his channel based on him sitting in his living room, what appears to be our kitchen, and he built his channel on that, telling stories. How many guys you know can do this? Okay, so now he went to the Philippines. He changed his format. Why did he change his format? Honestly, I think he changed his format because he knows he can do better than his storytelling. He can make better numbers.
Like most bloggers, and I'd say
Correct.
99%, it doesn't matter as long as it's in within legality. And this is why he's on everybody's radar. Legal. Just like us, we went through all that, showing you all the restaurants and doing reviews on things. And you have to find your own. And then when you all needed us and we were doing expat help and talking to you all on video and doing all the updates, which kept us up day and night, feeding you guys about what you need to do to come here. And the pandemic stuff, you guys were all in, but we weren't showing the TNA and single Filipinas and all what these channels around us have been showing you. Okay. So now we're into the realm of keeping an eye on expats, people in what we've actually been covering. And then everybody's interested all of a sudden. We're going to stay in that
Right.
realm.
Now, again, the reason why I mentioned this and build this up, so to speak, is because what Steve's about to say. Steve says, "Who was the ugly guy?" He's referring to regular guy that would be in the rural areas and hit on every Filipino in a very disgusting way. Walking into people's home, asking women to start to marry him. He was from New Jersey. Oh wait, that's not. No, that's somebody else. That's somebody else. Who's that, Steve?
There's so many
But
of them.
either
That's
way,
just it.
actually, the reason why I thought it was regular guy, because up until I read the New Jersey part, is here's regular guy showing videos of him hitting on women and being shot down, yada yada yada. Point being, if this was real, if this was unintended, would he not edit the video? What I'm saying is, if he actually really honestly thought he would have a shot on taking out a Filipino, like taking them out, a Filipina, would he have put it on camera? Because if I were serious about it and I approached this woman on camera and proposed to take her out, go out on a date with her, and I get shut down, I would edit that crap out unless I actually intended to be shut down in the first place. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, a regular guy knows what he's doing. He knows he's more analytical than you guys give him credit for. He's analyzed things. He knows what will get him views, what will get people to comment, whether you hate him or not. He knows how to raise the audience, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys see him failing in his ventures out there, he's actually not, because he's getting you hooked in to it.
Regardless, it's still usually it's stuff we don't intend to talk to, but one way or the other, you're still being pulled in. Hmm.
Um, it's similar. Most Philippine laws are based on U.S. laws. What's the Philippine law regarding filming in public? In the U.S., there's no expectation of privacy. Okay, now
The U.S. is still the same.
yeah,
It's whatever is. Yeah, there's still laws.
right. Well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, that people misinterpret. If it's in public, it's okay to record. Yes and no. The moment you go into private property, parking lots included, that's where your rights end. And a
Personal
lot of people don't
conversations
realize
that
this.
are on that video,
The moment you step into private property,
or into a Filipino's privacy,
right?
that's where it becomes.
Correct.
Let's give you an example. You had somebody going down Walking Street filming a couple weeks ago, and this became for about a half a second an issue. And that vlogger on YouTube stopped while a guy was outside, but he was sitting at a restaurant, inside of a restaurant, which I guess that's still considered the public, but he was inside of a private restaurant on their balcony eating. The vlogger got in his face with the camera. They got into a fight, and he said, "Take me off that camera." And they got into a major fight. If the person doesn't want to be on their film and they asked it actually he should remove it, and he could actually report it to YouTube.
Right.
But once you get into the privacy of a Filipina, if they see themselves on that film and they want to be removed, then technically, yes, you're supposed to remove it. If you're catching one of their conversations and recording something, if those individuals want it off, yes. If you're There is part of that law that also states about the actual, like if you're walking behind a Filipina and you're getting all of her, how is it? I don't want to call it dirty bits, but it's if she's not wearing an appropriate dress and you're getting the back end and you got your underwears in bottom and she doesn't know it's existing, and then you upload it that way and make it that way, then it can, there's so much. But I suggest that you guys would speak with somebody legal here, but the interpretation of that law per attorney, different attorneys will be different. But basically, you basically want to leave out as many Filipinos as possible. And once it's private property, like I've been asked not to film inside grocery stores, but yet the next Filipino will record inside of a grocery store. If they ask me to stop, we have to stop.
Just don't be an a-hole. It's that simple.
And we do ask, like when we go inside these stores, inside the malls, we'll ask the owners first. But a lot of these other guys don't. They just
You're
arrive,
not
set up,
supposed
and
to
they do
film
it.
inside, supermarkets, that kind of stuff.
Same with the vendors.
Yeah.
We buy something. If you see us recording,
We
like,
don't bother a vendor and not buy anything.
right. So we try to buy from who we are and we try to ask them. So there's just kind of two different rules. But basically, the rules state you're not supposed to zoom in and then use that footage. No. So if you're behind a Filipina, wherever you're at, or in the mall, and you're like all focused and you make it the main focus and you expose them in a bad light, then you can get in trouble for that. Yes.
Right. Actually, the vendor thing, it's more serious than you guys realize. And what I'm saying is, it's serious because, okay, imagine yourself, you're a vendor, okay? Because this happens. Let's say, imagine you're a vendor in the Philippines. And trust me, vloggers are everywhere. And every day you have a vlogger or two stop at your stall, ask you questions. How much is this? How much is this? How much is that? Oh, bring me that one. I want to see it. Hey guys, check this out. Hey, what about this? I'm sure the audience want to see it.
And then
And then walk away, not by squat. And you get this every freaking day, twice a day, or how many times a day? More so in the malls. And then the vlogger walks away without buying squat. You will lose your shit. You know what I'm saying? You're like, God damn, what are fucking vloggers, You know what I'm saying?
But they're just going to smile in your face. I promise you that.
Right.
Eventually it's going to get old, but I know they smile in most of people's faces. I've seen it.
Right. And that's what I mean.
Hey, Alex.
If I'm gonna vlog about a vendor, that means we bought from them or been buying from them.
Mhm.
We just don't vlog, hey, check out this stand, yada yada yada, and then walk away. That's rude. Cedric Edwards says, what really bothered me about regular guy was when he was bothering high school girls, then he offered to get them milk teas.
Right. The ones that we're talking about, and again, this is not for one side or the other. Was that even confirmed by Andy or anybody? They still say they're not sure about those girls. Were the IDs definitely high school kids? And weren't they just kids standing there? Were they 18? Were they workers that had badges on? I'm not sure
Well,
of that milk tea. I still have not watched that entire video.
that's another thing you have to realize, that
They
again,
could be college students with badges.
intentions could be misconstrued. And what I'm saying is,
George has bought drinks.
the same
and
way
food for
that like
people.
I do things for strangers,
Mhm.
male, female, boys, girls. Again, I'm not a creep. I'm just that kind of person, and he could be just a really nice guy. You know, no intentions whatsoever. You know, do I give stuff to strangers? Yes. If I see somebody like a security guard, male or
He
female,
buys food for children
I'll
all the
give them like a
time,
soda or
and what
something, or
appears
you
to be
know, or
teenagers.
right. I mean, but I have no intentions, no ulterior motives, so and so on. So, and for the most part, I don't put it on camera unless it's they're really cute, and I mean cute as in like not you guys know what I mean. And I even say in my vlog, don't do this because you can get in trouble. But there's difference. I'm Filipino, and the neighborhood, hell, this entire area knows I'm. Oh, you're the vlogger. They don't even like flinch. Like, oh, you're the vlogger. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, yeah, that's me. Um,
Just reading through the comments. All right, so
oh, okay.
well, I would still put it up. I don't kind
Yeah,
of get it,
I'm
but
not. No, no. I'm not defending him. I'm saying instead of being a slander channel, they should do the legal route instead of being a channel to destroy people. Oh, so he wasn't talking up to us.
who?
No, it says they.
Still not sure then who he's talking to, but gotcha.
Um, Doc Am says change the channel if you don't like it. That's my motto.
Right. And nobody's going to be happy all the time. There's going to be lover and haters of anything we cover, and that's why we're covering, because obviously people have opinions. They have opinions and stuff they feel about us. They have opinions about Tim K and Andy and Mike's Philippine journey and a lot of channels. It's just where it is. Plus, they're expats. So, being this is what's actually popular, we will stay in this realm for quite some time. And you're going to see stuff in between. There's
Well,
other stuff to cover. We know it's not as popular,
depending on
but
who you are, you will either side with us or go against us again. But remember, for the most part, we're pretty much try to stay as neutral as possible.
which is okay
Salem,
with us.
right?
That's what
And
it's
as
about.
Salem the realtor says, this comment section is torn,
Mhm.
which means there's a 50-50.
Everybody will
Everybody,
get
we got a beanie baby. Everybody gets a beanie baby for you. Beanie baby for everyone.
Mhm.
Have a little Oprah moment there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're kind of torn on that Mark Thornton. A lot of people don't like Mark on that situation, and a bunch of people don't like Dexter and Critter Hunter. And it's like
And again,
it's up to everybody on there.
some say, oh, you're pro.
We try to present as many facts, and if you
It's
guys have
facts.
facts,
And again, we
then
said if you did something wrong here, don't brag about it on your YouTube channel.
And by the way, just so you guys know, whatever links you guys keep sending us about rotten stuff about other vloggers, we're never going to click on that. Never,
Yeah.
ever.
And
And the same with downloads. A lot of you guys have been, and in my honest opinion, a bunch of you are trying to dox us and get into our systems. That's okay. Why even hide that? What I'm saying is, if you send us information and you're wanting us to put it out, we're not going to go into that.
yeah, and when I say wrong, I mean black and white, as in letter of the law. Just so you guys know.
You think that's giving somebody information? I'm just saying, we were saying that if people have some information and all that, if they're sending us that stuff, which is evident that it's not real stuff, we're not going to open it up. And so,
No, I said if you did something wrong, don't put it on YouTube.
gotcha.
And when I said wrong, I mean as in black and white, letter of the law.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm talking about people trying to outright dox us, and then not going to happen. Peter Vanderveer. I haven't heard that in a long time.
I know that's I know I didn't say Peter Vanderveer, you know, the guy who got deported, yada yada yada. But,
Yeah, there's a.
yeah, that's how long ago was that?
Mm.
Yeah.
All I know is like that case that's what's his name's in jail for right now. You will find that a lot of that is just one on one with the vloggers, and some of them don't even have real channels. Like they literally just go back and forth, back and forth. I think the channels were just created to go after each other, and so that's
Right. Alex Bumbum says YouTubers will
Alex.
create content that will find interesting that their viewers will want to watch. Exactly. Most of the time,
Just have to do it within
yeah,
legality.
these YouTubers create the content what
And
will
I
get them the most views. Yes.
Yeah, I actually think that he's doing that, maybe even to the actual extent of getting all this to talk about him. His channel's only growing because of all of us covering this. It really is.
Big Dave says we all need a little TNA once in a while. That's fair enough, right?
Hmm. Yep. Hence why there's other channels for sure.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Oh my gosh, I forgot his channel. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to remember his channel. Yes. It's, hold on. Anyway, sorry, we really can't remember the guy. It's been a while since.
Dream Vlog or something, or
Yeah,
Dream
yeah,
somebody.
yeah.
Does he have
Philippine
the
Dream
name
Vlog. Is that what you're talking about?
with the
Philippine
name
Dream
Dream
Vlog?
in it?
Yeah. Philippine Dream Vlog, when he broke up with his Filipino partner, he went into that mode. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. But that sounds like what
Yeah, I'm
he's
not
been
sure.
he did
There's
since they broke up.
there's been a few
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, that's another thing. There's been a few of them. It's pretty simple. If you don't like the topic, genre of the channel, and or the people running, then leave the live stream. How hard is that to do? No, 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 no. I'm aware of. Yeah, no, we're aware of that. But like I said, everything has to be taken into context.
Yeah,
And
so the Safe Spaces Act, but it's not just because you film behind somebody is it actually come into place. No, that's and honestly, it's at the end of the day, it's going to be what the actual judge actually. That's where it's at for sure. Yeah, the anti-Busto law.
yeah, Hillbilly Mike Slot says the regular guy travels around looking at beautiful Philippine towns and cities, islands, lands, countryside. He is just enjoying travel. No, see, that's the key word there. Countryside. He is not necessarily traveling the slums. He's just traveling, and I think he just was in the slums that time, that period. But for the most part, he's in rural areas, which is countryside. Oh, Burger Guy is here. Thanks, Hillbilly. Yeah.
Real quick, I see Addie and somebody in there talking about taxes. Peach Prepper said something about $18. Unfortunately, if you're still receiving that amount, like us, we don't hit that limit either, but we still have to file taxes. That's just it. He said not enough to file, but the Philippines still expects you to do it. So a lot of people think because you don't hit that 5,000 a year, you don't have to file at all. We're advised by our tax accountant that we have to. So I don't know about not filing. You still have to go in as a self-employed. You're supposed to have your 10 for that. You're still supposed to register and let them know you have a YouTube channel. They take into account if you're doing the t-shirts or selling anything on the side or any social media that you're doing. And some have multiples, including Facebook. So even if it is $18, that's still money coming in. I would still check with somebody. But yes, technically it's under 5,000 US, but you're still supposed to register.
Whoa, AA? Hey, AA, I haven't seen in a while.
Okay.
Okay, now, yes, they're wearing school uniforms.
Okay.
But what school? College here in the Philippines, you wear school uniforms. In fact, I was
And I'll defend it to that
I
point.
drove by a Philippine college here recently, like a week ago, twice. And since it's school area, even if it's college, it's heavy traffic, which means I was stuck in front of that school for probably a good 5 minutes, 6 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes.
But does that mean because you offered the girl milk tea and
Well,
was sitting there talking with her?
Babe,
that
what I'm saying is I
that's-
look at these girls and guys and I'm like, they look like high school.
No, I know that.
This is
But
college.
the incident of the milk tea keeps coming up over and
No,
over
I
and
know
over
that.
again
I
as
know
a key
that.
point. I'm asking, did he actually make a full offer on the girl? And then
No,
said
no,
he
it wasn't
want milk
serious. It
tea?
was
I
it
believe
was
that's.
lighthearted. But for those of you again who keep
I'm
on
not
about,
gonna go through that.
well, what I'm saying is the point is college students here wear these school uniforms.
Okay.
Like, and you can't tell the difference. I can't tell. I'm Filipino. I can't tell. They look high school. When I was stopped there, I'm like, they cross the street, and I'm like, wow,
As soon as they turn 30, that's it.
exactly. Once they, yeah, it's like they hit college. After college, they hit 30 years old, and they're old school maids. They're cougars. I'm not joking. No, no.
Then all of a sudden they age.
Okay, see? Actually, I just
would-
said that.
And I would.
Regular guy says they were in college uniform, and I can
There's
prove it.
regular guy.
That's what
right
I'm
there.
saying.
Regular guy, I sent
We
you
have
the
school
link. We'll
uniforms
keep
here.
anybody else from coming on, or if the previous email still stands as far as your message that we got.
See, the thing is, when I was in the Philippines and I watched TV shows and American movies, I watched these kids in high school and in college. I'm like, why aren't they in uniforms? College, we have uniforms.
Ugly Taurus further down said, not many Philippine vloggers that are any good. Everyone wants to see the Philippines, and that's all. I would disagree. I'd probably say 2 out of 10 people only want to see those vloggers that go around and show, oh, look at me, I'm doing Jollibees. Oh, here's Manila. And oh my God, my mom didn't like Manila, and Manila is dirty, and Palawan was this. I mean, it's been repeated so much in the last 2 years with a boom of 10 times more vloggers. It is. They try to spin it off different, but most of them do not. And what does YouTube and the YouTube managers tell those that have a YouTube manager like us? Repeat what's popular. So you know what the funny thing is? Yeah, all of our vlogs here lately has been based on covering what's been going on in the expat YouTube world. And she said, keep on doing it. So, I mean, why would we actually break that? So, as far as they're only interested in seeing just the Philippines, that's not true, because most of our people, 70% are in the US that's watching this drama about other YouTubers, and they're more interested in their lives than actually their content. I get it. It's usually the same people that watch us are watching 3 or 4 other channels that they claim that they don't like, but yet they're over there. I think they're watching it like a soap opera, and it's like cable TV. It's a little variety of everything. That's just a lot going on. I
Yeah.
don't think they're just interested in what's going on in the Philippines. I call bullshit. I've been watching this for years, and that's not true. People were only interested in us before the country reopened because they wanted to see what was going on, and then they wanted to come over here. Once a lot of our people came over here, we know where the core audience is based on our regular videos, and that's the same. If you watch a vlogger that gets 70,000 views, and then they cover something about their personal life with their wife and everything, and their views are up down to 3, 4,000, 7,000. That's their core audience, the ones that are hardcore and stick in there. We know that.
Yeah. Rafik64 says regular guy is more interesting than majority of the vlogs. Yeah, no, this is true. Pepperoni Pete says Scotty Boy rocks, love regular guy.
Yeah, see, we said that he'd probably be watching, and we're well aware that 50%, okay, it's or actually, you know, probably even more.
Salem again, I kind of not quite on your side on this one. Maybe one has to remove Western sensibilities on Philippine law. Regarding the ones defending regular guy, he has an incriminating vid per Philippine law. Remember the breast video? Yes. And
Yep, and then they have to go down there and arrest a bunch of other people.
I mean,
And remember, if they find him on that, then they're going to have to find the girl there. How does everybody feel about that girl that he was talking to, that she gets arrested too? Because if that's that, then they have to complete that witch hunt, and they have to go after the girl. And what has everybody been saying about, oh, just leave those girls alone, they got to eat and this and that? But that's going to include that person and people in the video too. And it is what it is on that. And a lot of you guys
yeah, I
don't
mean,
dislike the Filipinos. So, and then anybody down there, anybody vlogging, all the guys
we
down
actually have
there,
that
and
video on
I,
queue last
I
time.
doubt. I'm still doubting. You know, today's live was based on what can be done, who can be blacklisted for what situation. Is what the video about on there? Yes. If you guys are reporting, understand the ones that are being said to go down there, you're going to have to provide all your information, and I'm sure that stuff can be found out
Well,
later.
not to mention that particular video again, when authorities look at it, like, well, that's a prostitute. That doesn't count.
Although it is in the laws, it's like any laws in any country. Are they going to actually go for it?
Well, that woman, exact woman, has to come up.
I think so. Or anything else they come up with. Yes, I agree.
Right. But what I'm saying is they're not going to make an effort because she has to make the effort. And even then, we're still kind of not, what do you call that? In a patriarchal state where, well, it's matriarchal, but patriarchal at the same time. That they'll be looking like, well, she's working. Like literally, she wasn't there to chit chat. Really, she was there to make a living. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And that they'll bring that up. Like, what she does for a living, right?
It's kind of like a while back, and I'm going to mention this, and you're going to be like this. Well, like the time where we've been feeding kids and giving them money on the street, then you heard, it's like you're damned if you do, and if you damned if you don't. I feel that kind of rides on a lot of the vloggers now, for real, because then you're going to get somebody that says, oh, you're breaking the law. Well, then, okay, is the government really going to go after the both of us based on us,
Yeah,
on different things? And then there's where we're allowed to do one thing under that law and then not the other. And it's like,
yeah.
okay,
By law, you're not supposed to give alms to the poor. Now, if a cop sees it, depending on his mood, he could be like, he's just they're just
or
trying to help.
your attitude. Like
Yeah,
if
they're
I
just
start
trying to help
screaming back at
out.
the cop or
Right.
something, then that could actually cause an
Like for
actual
example, a
problem.
cop walks over and confronts us. Hey, you're not supposed to do that. I can take you in for that, and you say, "Oh, sorry, officer, I didn't know.
And then me on
We
the
were
other
just
hand,
trying to help."
and then if I'm over there like, then it could get you in trouble. That's why we said be nice when you enter the country, be nice when you're at immigration. Um, is
Well, we're about to close the live.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Salem, we saw you jump in, but we're actually
Well, we're actually
we're
going to wrap up here in a little
we're
bit, but
gonna
we're
we're
waiting
just
to
wrapping up.
see.
Yeah.
We're actually seeing if regular guy wants to come on by himself. We were just saying specifically in dealing with the regular guy. Yes, he
A
was
regular
still
guy
on 10
says
minutes ago.
pulled in coffee shops so I could chat here, but they're ignoring me, so I'm back on the road.
Ah, snap. Well, we did see him come in.
Well, he didn't take in the.
No, we don't see that he came into the. I mean, he might have been in there chatting, but with that many comments, it's hard to see that.
Yeah, I didn't pop. Yeah. Oh well. No, again, we have communications with the regular guy. He's not a stranger
Sorry,
to us.
yeah, it's
by any
hard to
means.
see a regular guy with 300 people in the room, and George is going down, and so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, usually I go to the bottom and start.
AA
but,
says he can lip read.
well, that's good.
Actually, okay, I know that's what AA said, but I've watched me speak for the most part. I don't think they can actually lip read me.
If they did, they
Because
would
most
say what we
I
said.
paid. I've
They
been
say that, but they would type it out.
well. I've watched my mouth; it barely moves. Like really.
hmm
But anyway, thank you so much, guys. Again, we are again on at the end of our third hour. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Salem, thank you for jumping in. Unfortunately, we were actually wrapping up when you popped up. Um,
Yeah, like I said.
yeah, Adalian says Philippine Dream, the bald guy. Right,
Hey, Victor.
exactly. Yeah, that's again.
Yeah, because he was with that one girl.
If you
then
think
they
regular
broke up.
guy is bad, he's nothing compared to
He
Philippine
knew.
Dream.
Yeah, he knew the girl that one time. She said how old she was,
And
he
did
still asked
he
her
did
out
ask her out.
right in front of his camera. So
Right.
I just see it so much now that
And he was in the slums, and
I figured the people there locally will take care of him is kind of my thing. I still
Yeah.
stick by.
at that point we stopped watching him because we used to watch him. And then he shifted to that mode, and we're like, what the heck is this? At that point, we stopped. We're like, okay, we don't want no part of this.
Hey, Ruby.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't
Ruby,
see her.
Ruby's in the
And
house.
Alex was here. Alex, I enjoyed. We missed your live stream last night, Alex, but I seen you there at the festival. Definitely interested in going one time.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your support. And again, thanks so much, James Miller. We appreciate your support, man. Bruce Thompson, thank you so much. Mr. Saab Sucks was in the house. He didn't do his usual signature today, but he was here with us today. And thank you so much, Sunshine Shoulders. Calvin, thank you so much for watching us. Thank you for your support. We still watch you too. You got us going on that short of yours. Thank you so much. Bacon Girl, thank you very much for your support, and thank you for reminding me of bacon. Curses.
Right.
We don't have bacon right now. We have lots of tocino right now, but no bacon.
Yeah, AA further down said, so by George is thinking he thinks regular guy is content is directed as a business model.
Correct.
And then he's like, then really, he said, that's the best you can come up with, catering to a pedo. Ah, nice there. That was AA that
No,
actually
I
said
know,
that.
but
No, that's not catering to it. You guys, as others have said, and I'll say it out loud, you guys that are saying that, we figured eventually that you would say something like that, and it's not true. So the same as what's being said about. I
although
just think it's
nice
insane.
for being back again. Appreciate you, man. We kind of miss you. Yeah.
But it's not true. It's who only 50% of this room and during the last few lives felt the same way. And you'd have to arrest 100 guys here based on what's being claimed. And if you guys feel that, as we've said, go on down and report, give your information, your IDs, and report to immigration and NBI if that's how you guys are feeling.
No, in
But
all fairness. Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just.
ID says the regular guy is exploiting people.
So is a lot of vloggers.
That's
the entire country.
Thank you.
But also start
Not
with the
just
Filipinos.
Philippine vloggers.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys do realize.
All vloggers.
You guys do realize that it's being done so more by the Filipinos. You guys say, okay, well, they're Filipinos. Well, so is my husband, but he doesn't do that. And so it's being done by everybody, specifically like that guy we were talking today about the cancer. He goes around and does all kinds of odd content, and they all do. It's YouTube. They do that in other countries. They do that in India. You know how many of those videos I've seen in India?
There's this channel that kind of not as active anymore, where they film these people that live Ozarky. I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be political here, politically correct here. You know,
Yeah.
the inbred people.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they
That's
expose that family forever
correct.
too. So
So
where does it start?
that's what I'm saying.
So
A lot of vloggers do it all over the world, unfortunately. Yes.
it's become a norm.
That one. Okay, they were talking about what was that channel again? Ryan.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
Everybody's all over the place about different
Ryan does
things.
vlogs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But like I said, if she's
but a
dead,
bunch of his
yeah,
stuff is missing. I see where they brought up her name and all that.
yeah.
So,
If she did pass, there should, I wouldn't say there should be, but a normal knee jerk reaction of any YouTuber again. If I passed away, I'm sure Heidi's gonna vlog about me and my coffin my urn or whatever. Same thing if
yeah, if that was really his
right
fiance
knee
and she
jerk
did. I mean,
reaction
he
would
put her
be
on there initially.
right.
So, who knows? There's so many of these channels that exist where to start. So,
Yeah,
mhm.
it's like the movies. If there's no body, they ain't dead. All right, guys. Bye. Love you all.
Bye, guys.